Good afternoon, I'm Paul Ralston, Director of Broadcast Properties for University of North Dakota Athletics, and welcome to this classic rebroadcast of University of North Dakota football. For the next several weeks, we'll highlight some of the great North Dakota football games to have taken place over the last decade. What's different within these broadcasts is that we have not only condensed the game more than ever, we've enhanced this version with additional commentary from head coach Bubba Schweigert to get his thoughts on some of the moments within the game, its players, or even that particular season. Today's broadcast is being presented by Shields. Hey, North Dakota fans, make sure to check out Shields for all your Fighting Hawks gear. Shields, right there with you in Bismarck, Minot, Grand Forks, Fargo, and Moorhead. Today's Classic Rewind is Game 1 of the 2015 season, as the UND football team had just finished their first season of the Bubba Schweigert era with 2 wins, a senior day home win against then number 22 Northern Arizona and a road win at Northern Colorado. The question coming into the 2015 season was if North Dakota was ready to take its next step. To open the season, UND would meet a Wyoming Cowboy team in a similar circumstance as they were beginning year 2 under the helm of Craig Bohl. It's Saturday, September 5th, 2015. Now here's Pat Sweeney, Mike Berg, along with me, Paul Ralston, as North Dakota meets Wyoming in this classic UND football rebroadcast presented by Shields.
The following is a presentation of University of North Dakota Athletics.
Early in the season, a couple things you look for in your team. You want your team to be really composed in adverse situations. So we know there's going to be adversity in the game. There is every week that you play, and we're looking for our guys to really show some maturity and be able to handle those situations, and it's challenging. We have 25 guys or more that haven't gone on a road trip with our football team, so we've got to really work hard and rehearse those situations that we handle them as best we can. So that's what we're looking for.
Just close your eyes and you're gone.
Reckoned with.
Goodbye! Another long North Dakota touchdown, 75 yards.
North Dakota proud.
Caught! Touchdown! What a play! The deep ball caught by Greg Harden. It's a touchdown!
UND proud.
And the race is on. Kevin Perry in pursuit. He won't get him. It's another North Dakota touchdown.
Today kicks off year 2 for head coach Bubba Schweigert at the helm of the University of North Dakota football program. Year 1 saw the team finish on a positive note with 2 wins to close the season. There's renewed hope that last season's late momentum can help the team take its next step. From the War Memorial Stadium in Laramie, Wyoming, here's the voice of University of North Dakota football in 2015, Pat Sweeney.
It is a brand new season of University of North Dakota football, and it starts in about an hour's time here in Laramie, Wyoming, as the University of North Dakota rings in the new year against the Cowboys of Wyoming in the first ever meeting between these teams. With Hall of Fame coach Mike Berg and our sideline man, Paul Ralston, this is Pat Sweeney. And Mike, it is a beautiful day in Laramie, 72 degrees. Nice sunshine, partly cloudy, but the humidity 33%, something we haven't been used to up in Grand Forks in recent weeks.
Well, it's nice here, Pat. I don't know if I can explain why it's such a nice day, and I have chills going up and down my back. I can't wait to get this thing started. I'm just jumping around up here.
It must be opening day. UND 5-7 last year. Wyoming 4-8 in its first season last year under Craig Bohl. We could see an interesting battle of wills here today, Mike, with both teams looking to run the ball.
I think so. This might be the shortest running time game that we see all year because these teams don't put it up in the air a lot. And, of course, both of these staffs are familiar with each other. They do like to keep the ball on the ground.
UND is seeking its first win ever against an FBS team. North Dakota 0-7. What will it take to change that streak today, Mike?
Well, I think that hold on to the ball, number one, is both teams, we know what they want to do. They want to possess the ball and turn it over to their defense. Both are built on that kind of model. And so the team that holds on to the ball, doesn't give it to the bad guys, is going to be the one that walks away with a win.
The trigger man for North Dakota today, sophomore quarterback Keaton Studsrud. He gets the start after starting the last 4 games of last season because of injury. How has he looked to you this fall?
You know, he's had a good pre-fall, but the other quarterbacks have looked pretty good too. So I think he won the job. He came into fall camp being number 1 coming off of last season, and through spring ball, he's been healthy. He's a heck of an athlete, and last year he got thrown into the middle of it and really probably was planning to redshirt all year, wasn't able to do that. So he got put in a tough spot. He's ready to play. You can see it in his eyes. The kid's a competitor, and he's ready to roll.
Defense was such a hallmark of last year's North Dakota team. What do you expect this year?
Same thing. A lot of people don't get excited about defense. They can't wait for your team to get the ball so you can see it thrown around or run around. Actually, watching UND play defense, sometimes it just darn near takes your breath away with the kind of things that they do and the pressure they put on other teams.
Well, folks, we're glad you're with us today on our UND Tailgate Show. Coming up, we'll hear from Coach Bubba Schweigert, and later on, we'll hear from University of North Dakota Athletic Director Brian Faison, linebacker Dio Idowu, and we'll check in with Kevin McKinney, the longtime radio analyst on the Wyoming Radio Network. He'll fill us in on the Cowboys. That's all coming up. This is North Dakota football.
When another Alberta Clipper blows in, nothing keeps you on the job longer than Carhartt work gear from Home of Economy. Ask anyone working outdoors. They'll tell you Carhartt makes the warmest work gear available. Traditional brown duck, Yukon Extremes, Carhartt Originals, and FR. They're all beyond tough and ready to work as hard as you do. See us today for the most sizes, styles, and selections.
Home of Economy, where your dollar buys more.
It seems around here every town is a sports town. And why not? Sports were important to us growing up, and we want the same for our kids. To get involved, to compete, because that's how kids learn to lead. And why Farmers Union Insurance supports these programs. They know sports aren't just about building skill and strength, but about building character. Farmers Union Insurance. They don't just protect our community, they invest in it.
We cater to cowards. The Badger Dental Group has long been known as the dental office that caters to cowards. Year after year, patients praise this team for their hands-on care, comfort, and patience given to them. The Badger Dental Group uses the latest technology and takes extra steps to cater to cowards. They want to make you feel welcome, comfortable, and informed, and they love new patients. Experience the difference experience makes. Call the Badger Dental Group today.
Nate from the Golf Center here, the man with the fancy shoes. Remember this, it's always the club's fault. Set up an appointment or stop in for a custom fitting experience to find where your misses are coming from. It's a proven fact that once you find clubs with the correct specifications, you will make a more fluid swing and improve shot impact pattern, giving you a tighter dispersion and flight consistency. In turn, you're going to hit better shots and have more fun after your fitting at the Golf Center, where your game begins.
Making safety a priority on the farm is an everyday decision. We buckle up when we get behind the wheel. We cook our food to a safe temperature, and we have a plan when the unexpected happens. Farm safety should be no different. Our team at Ag Country Farm Credit Services reminds you to look twice when moving large equipment and think twice before entering that grain bin, and use every resource you have to stay safe out there. At Ag Country, our focus is you, your safety, and your success.
At Ground Round in Grand Forks, the construction is done and the new patio room is open. Enjoy the beautiful days dining outside on the patio or inside in the fresh air and sunlight through the large screen doors. The Ground Round has also added a room available to reserve for private gatherings and meetings. Check out all the new items on the menu, and of course, always a great daily special. The Ground Round, 32nd Avenue South in Grand Forks.
Hey, Hawks fans, the pigskin is flying, pads are popping, and Shields wants to know, are you geared up? Got a jersey that needs retiring? Need a brand new hat with some fresh luck? For everything you want to wear, wave, sit on, toss around, drink from, grill on, and stick to your car. If it says Fighting Hawks, Shields has it. Shields, proud supporter of Fighting Hawks football and football fans everywhere. In Bismarck, Minot, Grand Forks, Fargo, and Moorhead.
Preparation.
It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite UND players on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. UND Pride, powered locally.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now, hip. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
You're listening to a special rebroadcast of North Dakota football. UND began their 2015 season against Wyoming of the FBS Mountain West Conference. Coach Bubba Schweigert has always viewed playing of FBS teams with more scholarships and resources as not just games to go collect a big check.
Well, these are great opportunities for your team to challenge yourself against very good football teams, and we felt Wyoming was going to be one of those challenges. And you know, our guys get excited about playing. We get excited about coaching, and we want to go win the game. That's how we approach it. We approach it like any other game, and you know you're going to have to play a very good game because they're good teams and they have a lot of talent. So you know what do you got to do? You got to take care of the ball. You know, execute at a high level in those games, and you got to be really sound on special teams. So those are fun games, like any game is preparing. But you know, you got to go in with the attitude that you belong and you want to win the game. You know, and remember specifically talking to our team the evening before we played Wyoming was, hey, something was different in that room that Friday night than we experienced probably the year before. You know, we had won our last two, like we talked about in 2014. We had beaten Northern Arizona, and that gave us a really good springboard into our winter season, you know, where you can get better individually, you know, with strength and conditioning. And I thought we had a good spring ball, and the guys were just, and the coaches, now we had been together for a season, and we just knew each other better. And there was a better feel for how we wanted to play the game and what we were about. And that night before, I shared that with the team. I said, hey, there's something different this year. We can go out and do this. We can go out and play and put 60 minutes together and do something special for our program. You know, we just didn't have that same feel when we were at San Jose the year before. You know, it was guys learning who the coaches were, and we hadn't coached the game together and all those things. But it was different in 2015, and our guys were really focused, and what a fun day that was for our program and for our team.
Wyoming won the coin toss deferred, and North Dakota will start the game with the ball.
Not bad starting position. You start with the ball on the 35-yard line. That's pretty good. And let's see what this offense can do now. I know what their first play is, but I'm not going to tell you.
I would guess run, but that's just my guess. Keaton Studsrud at the trigger. Wide to the left is Miguel Saratino. Santiago is the lone setback. And Seibel is lined up to the right, and we are set to go. The officials now ready to go. An 8-man crew, which is new in college football this year. 8 officials on the field. Keaton Studsrud under center. He pitches back to Santiago, sweeping to the right. He's outside the 40, and flags are flying as he is pushed out of bounds.
I think we might have had somebody grabbing something they weren't supposed to.
Might have been a horse collar, fellas.
I didn't see who was in on that. There were a couple of brown jerseys there. And we're going to have a little trouble reading these numbers because it's gold numbers on brown jerseys. So excuse us if we get them wrong.
Chavez Pownell might be the guilty party, as he was the man who forced him out of bounds. So that moves the ball across midfield, just shy of the Wyoming 45. 1st and 10 for North Dakota. They send Saratino and Clive Georges, junior wide receiver, to the left. Two fullbacks / tight ends shift over to the left side. One setback behind Studsrud. Heavily wide side of the field to the left. And Studsrud flushed. He's throwing it to the left and throws it out of bounds. As the pressure was on, Lucas Waka, the linebacker, leading the charge.
Waka's another guy that they have him pegged as an all-conference type player. He's one of the leaders. We know about Yarborough, but Waka's right there with him and a guy that they're going to depend on a lot this year.
So 2nd and 10. North Dakota sends 3 receivers left. Seibel, Saratino, and Georges. A fullback shifts to the right side. Studsrud turns around, gives Santiago some information, and now we're ready to go. Hand off to Santiago, tries the right side, and he won't get much room there as he's up to the 42, where a whole horde of Cowboys converged on him.
And I was just going to say that Studsrud and Boas had a bit of a kind of not a great clean exchange there from center to quarterback, and it kind of, I think, took the timing out of the play there, Coach.
Yeah, and one of the things that you see, UND refers to, when Studsrud's back off the line of scrimmage, they refer to it as shotgun, although actually he's more in the depth that we're used to with a pistol-type formation, just not quite as deep as normal shotguns.
3rd and 7 now for North Dakota. One setback, but Studsrud drops back to pass over the middle, and it's through the hands of the intended receiver, Josh Seibel.
That was first down. That was first down and more, and that thing went right through his hands. Not used to seeing that with Josh.
Now, I'd say the wind is mostly into him. It does tend to swirl in here. I've been watching that the last hour or so while I've been down on the field, but it's definitely more into the face of North Dakota here.
Mitch Mindell back to punt for North Dakota after missing a season. Had a good freshman year. And Mindell gets it up. A fair catch called for, but this will bounce into the end zone for a touchback. Tanner Gentry, the punt returner, let it go.
Well, not all bad on that first possession. Pat picked up a first down by penalty, but that would have been a first down had the ball been caught by Seibel. And now we'll see what that defense is, what that defense can do. This is where UND will hang their hat this year and future years. I think this is where the emphasis is.
No question about that. Will Rattel, 106 tackles last year, leading that defense at the inside linebacker position. The first North Dakota linebacker since Digger Anderson in 04 to have more than 100 tackles. Shotgun, Wyoming hands off. And right away, Sean Wick gets the call, and they get a gain of 1. And Taj Rich, UND linebacker, in on the stop.
Wick averaged just about 6 yards a carry last year, and actually right at 6 yards a carry, and he's their go-to guy.
Backs in the eye behind Cameron Kaufman, the senior quarterback, a transfer from Indiana. A 4-receiver spread here for Wyoming, and Kaufman throws to his right. It's complete, and forced out of bounds there at the 28-yard line by a couple of North Dakota defenders. Jake Malhart, 6'6", 216-pound junior, caught that pass.
Deion Harris, cornerback. You don't see many cornerbacks that are 6'3". That's a tall one, and that's a good matchup for the kinds of receivers that UND will see in the Big Sky. And he's a kid that can run, but he's a big one.
3rd and 2 from the Wyoming 28 as the Cowboys close ranks. They have a man in motion going to the left. Oh, Kaufman lost the ball. He picks it up, shakes off a tackle, throws it downfield, and it's out of bounds into the Wyoming bench.
Whoa. Nah, he escaped. Disaster there. I couldn't tell who it was that was on him. Was that Cole Reyes coming off, so. Paul?
Yeah, they brought Cole Reyes up close to the line of scrimmage, and he just came on a free release, and he just wasn't able to make the play back there.
He came high. He tried to hit the quarterback up high, went right over his shoulders and head. Otherwise, UND would have had him down at the 10-yard line and would have been in good shape.
So Ethan Wood now comes in to punt for Wyoming on a 4th and 2. from the Wyoming 28. Back is Seibel at his own 25.
23, Seibel is beat.
Now Wyoming shifting on the line. Everyone from the left came in toward the center, and everyone on the right went toward the sideline. And away we go. There's the snap, and Wood gets his leg into it. Seibel ranging to his left and back. He catches it at the 20, sidesteps a tackler, but not the second wave. Number 31, Chavez Pownell Jr. on the stop there.
Now, what you mentioned, Wyoming shifted from the left to the right and then spread out the whole right side of their line. And the reason they do that is to get good coverage. The punting formations, if anything has changed in recent years, punt formations, we've seen so many different looks so teams can get better coverage. You basically used to cover with 2 bullets, and maybe the center would get down, and you're trying to cover with 3 people. Now these punt teams are able to cover with 7 people. Well, we didn't have to pronounce any of those difficult names that first possession or two.
Yes, the Wyoming defense has quite a few Hawaiian and Polynesian names. Lots of fullbacks and tight ends on the line. One setback. And I got faked out, Mike. It's
Clive George is on just an end around.
I'm a little rusty. The last radio game I did for UND was in 1992, so bear with me.
Well, I promise you, they weren't running this many formations back in 1992 either.
You say Roger was running a simpler system back then, Coach?
Well, I don't know if it was simpler, but they didn't use, I think they've already surpassed the formations already in their second possession.
Seibel in motion. He's wide right, another receiver wide left, one setback. Studsrud goes back, throws to his left. It's caught. Slipping a tackle over there is Seibel, and a guy hangs on by his shoestrings and takes him down at the 28. 1st and 10, North Dakota.
And that's the dependable Josh Seibel that we saw towards the second half of last season. And he can make a guy miss. He's not going to have that flat-out sprinter speed if he gets in the open field, but he's good instincts and generally really good hands and makes plays.
Marcus Epps, the free safety, making that stop. Now number 96, Grant Applin, is in the game. He lines up as a tight end to the left side. And 2 setbacks behind Studsrud, 1 receiver each way. And they give to the tailback. Running around the right side, still going, and a flag thrown. Santiago down the sideline. He'll take it in, but will it be a touchdown? Let's find out.
They're going to bring it back. Wow.
Ouch.
You could see the block here on the edge. It was very, very close. I don't know if he got his head out in front of him. It was that close. Maybe just got most of the side of him, and that will probably draw it.
Well, I'm not excited to say that thing's coming back because it went just about 73 yards, and at least we got a taste of what Santiago could do when he has the ball in his hands.
Holding by North Dakota will bring the ball back.
The holding call will move the ball back. Inside the 30, they mark it at the 27.
Ball was spun with the 27-yard line.
Paul, did you get a number on that? I couldn't tell who it was. Not that it makes any difference because it came back, but doggone it, pretty play.
Yeah, I didn't. Might have been Luke Mathewson out there on the edge.
Studsrud in the shotgun. Seibel in motion to the left, and the handoff to Santiago up the middle. He's got a hole, and he's taken down at the 40-yard line of North Dakota. John Santiago, last year among 10 finalists for Mr. Football, switched from wide receiver to running back because of injuries. He was a high school running back, though.
He was a high school running back, and yeah, until about 3 weeks ago, he wasn't a running back in college.
So that moves the ball to the 41, 1st and 10. 3 receiver set here for UND. Studsrud under center. And Santiago the lone setback. Let's see if they give it to him again. And yes, they do. And this time he's tripped up and the ball is loose. The Cowboys say they have it. And they do. Number 7, DJ May, a linebacker who was a running back the last few years, but because of injuries, they moved him to defense, and that move pays a big dividend there.
Kyle Norberg there just got kind of tripped up, kind of end over end, and he lost the handle on the football in the first big play, a critical play. Goes the way of the Cowboys there.
Kyle Norberg, thanks, Paul. My mistake, 14 yards before the fumble. And a big chance here for Wyoming.
Coach Rudolph this morning in a team meeting mentioned if a possession ends and we still have the ball, even if we have to punt or don't gain very much, it's still somewhat successful.
There's a stop in play. This is North Dakota football.
With a stop in play to review what was initially ruled a fumble on the field, we'll take a break. When we return, we'll hear Coach Bubba Schweigert talk about the immediate impact of then-freshman John Santiago. After this, from our local station partners on the Home of Economy Sports Network. Welcome back to this classic rebroadcast of North Dakota football taking on Wyoming to open the 2015 season. Today's rebroadcast is being presented by Shields. Hey, North Dakota fans, make sure you check out Shields for all your Fighting Hawks gear. Shields right there with you in Bismarck, Minot, Grand Forks, Fargo, and Moorhead. As you just heard, UND has had a 70-plus yard John Santiago TD run erased by penalty. We now know how many great moments John Santiago would go on to have during his special career, but on this day, he, like so many others, were getting their first dose of big-time college football. Santiago was an unknown commodity, and according to Coach Schweigert, sometimes you just need divine intervention for it to all come together.
Well, sometimes you get a little lucky. You know, we had recruited John as a slot receiver, return man. We thought he'd be really good at that kind of stuff, even though he'd played tailback in high school. But, you know, once we got him in fall camp, we just really started getting a feel, hey, this guy is special. He's got something different. You know, he can violently cut, and he's got a confidence about him that was just different. You know, you probably didn't see it in the camp when we saw him the summer before as we did in fall camp. And then we had a couple injuries in fall camp, and we decided, hey, we should give John a shot here at tailback just by what we were seeing on the field. And, you know, the rest is kind of history. He had a breakout day that day. And
now, I don't mean to give things away, but we're not too far away from getting our first score of the game by way of John Santiago. We skip ahead now as UND was deemed not to have fumbled after a long review. North Dakota was forced to punt, and then Wyoming ran 5 plays and were forced to kick it away themselves with just over 6 minutes left to play. In the opening quarter, we rejoined the broadcast with Pat Sweeney and Mike Berg, with UND about to receive a punt.
Ethan Wood in to punt again for Wyoming, standing at his 9-yard line. And Seibel back at his 32 for North Dakota. And Wood gets this one high in the air. Seibel going back, fields it at the 22. Pressure's on, and they take him down immediately. And I'm trying to pick up the number.
Yep, we're going to get a penalty. The tackler taunted Seibel. He made an open field tackle and sat there, legs spread, standing over him, taunting him. That baby's going 15 yards, or I'm going to jump out of this booth. And if I do, I'll land on
you'll have quite a drop.
Would you bring your parachute before you're going to do that, please, Coach?
That's got to go 50. That was ridiculous. And that's the kind of thing that makes a coach absolutely crazy. You make a good defensive play, you make an open field tackle, and then you not only taunt, you straddle him and taunt, yell at him and wave your arms and look like a knucklehead. Was that strong enough?
Well, it's strong enough where we don't have to bleep you.
Okay.
Well, let's look at the situation here. I mean, North Dakota, I think, to be perfectly honest with you, if you look at this quarter to this point, I think has been in the better position. They just got to string together a few more plays.
UND is hoping to be jumping for joy soon. And How's that for a segue? Jump for Joy Bounce Houses is the solution to providing your next party or event with a safe and memorable experience. Jump for Joy has bounce houses, slides, obstacle courses, and an array of interactive games that will be sure to have you jumping for joy. Jump for Joy Bounce Houses. Call 701-430-1655 to reserve some joy today. Mike, you mentioned Brent Vegan earlier, and that's something we wanted to talk about, the large NDSU flavor on this coaching staff. In addition to Bull, there are 7 other coaches who have ties to NDSU.
Yeah, and they know a little bit about success, and they know a little bit about building programs. And so they came in here and they left a team that probably had better football players than the team they came to, even though they went up a level. And so they know how to build a program. They've been there, and they work well together. But, yeah, they've got some work to do. This Mountain West is kind of a tough one each week, too.
In addition to Brent Vegan, the offensive coordinator, there's defensive coordinator Steve Stenard, offensive line coach Scott Fuchs, wide receiver coach Gordy Haug, Bemidji State alum, defensive end and special teams coach A.J. Cooper, cornerback coach John Richardson, and defensive graduate assistant coach Grant Olson.
Well, those guys don't want to think anymore about what used to be. They have everything in front of them, and they're building a program.
1st and 10 for North Dakota at its own 38. 3 receivers wide right. The handoff to Santiago up the middle, up to the 44. So a gain of about 5 there.
That was just a little quick draw. And one of the nice things that I like about Santiago is he's so explosive. He's not very big. Doesn't need a big hole, but he can really get moving in a hurry, and got a little bit of a crack there and picked up a good solid 5 yards, 6 yards.
And making the tackle, defensive tackle, Uso Olive. That one's easy compared to some of the other ones, Mike.
That's why you're saying
That's why I'm here. 2nd and 4. And backs in the eye behind Studsrud. And again, hand to the tailback. Santiago gets a few, and looks like he's got the first down. It'll be very close, and the tackler again, Chavez Pownell, strong safety. No, they will move the chains. First down, North Dakota.
And people that are familiar with football terminology, A gap, B gap, whatever, UND's primary offensive attack today when they're running the ball has been in the A gaps, partly because they're two of the 3 linebackers are brand new. They played on offense last year, didn't play at all. So UND wants to see if they can get that big line up on them and move them out of there.
3 setbacks in an eye behind Studsrud. Flag is thrown as the handoff comes to Santiago, breaks through, goes to his right, down to the sideline, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. But hold on. Will this one be negated?
I'm afraid another one coming back. That's 2 long touchdown runs brought back. Unless.
Well, they're still talking about it, and the referee.
There's 22 players walking back to the middle of the field,
yep.
So that kind of tells you right there. Wow. So that was a 73-yarder and a 52-yarder. That's about 125 yards so far called back.
And 2 scores.
And 2 touchdowns.
Oh, no, hold it, it's a touchdown. They just signaled touchdown. North Dakota on the board. What in the world?
Are these officials ever going to give signals? That would help.
Unbelievable.
It's kind of like you're supposed to read their minds, I believe.
So a 52-yard touchdown run for John Santiago, his first as a North Dakota player. Reed Taubenheim in for the PAT. He puts it up and puts it through, and it's North Dakota 7, Wyoming nothing, with 4:44 to go in the first quarter.
So North Dakota has taken a 7-0 lead on the 52-yard touchdown run by John Santiago, although I'm still not certain what the original penalty was on Wyoming. They say patience is a virtue, and in that instance it seems to be the case.
It was down our sideline, and you just kind of look and go, that was really something. And you had one called back earlier, and in those games, you think you got to play penalty-free, and And boy, we lost a score. That was tough. But I remember the one that was probably more impressive, his touchdown run, his second one of that game. We didn't block it very well, and the guy had a clean look at him in the backfield, and he made a miss and scored from 1 yard out.
Back with more of North Dakota versus Wyoming from September 5th, 2015. This is North Dakota football on the Home of Economy Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Calling all UND sports fans. Each UND game day, whether home or away, visit your local Valley Dairy and Valley Car Wash for exclusive game day deals. Enjoy $1 off any breakfast or single topping personal pan size hot stuffed pizza at Valley Dairy. Or buy one, get one free car washes at any of the 4 Valley Car Wash locations. Welcome to Valley Dairy. Welcome to the new official convenience store of UND Athletics.
What makes your local Butler builder a better option for commercial construction? It starts with expert knowledge of the local codes and building conditions. And when you add the industry-leading product and efficiencies of Butler Manufacturing, the choice is even clearer. When you're ready to build, call Sand Steel Building Company at 701-594-4435 for the local expertise and know-how to complete your next building project.
Nothing better than spending summer on a pontoon. Right. Summer's over. And you don't have a pontoon. Sounds like you need to go to Revolution's Power Sports and Marine for the pontoon blow-up. Save big on all remaining pontoons. And Revolution's has winter storage, winterization, and boat shrink wrap available. Don't miss out on a great deal at Revolution's Power Sports and Marine pontoon blow-up. We need something here. Perfect. Off I-29 and 32nd Avenue South.
It seems around here every town is a sports town. And why not? Sports were important to us growing up, and we want the same for our kids. To get involved, to compete, because that's how kids learn to lead. And why Farmers Union Insurance supports these programs. They know sports aren't just about building skill and strength, but about building character. Farmers Union Insurance. They don't just protect our community, they invest in it.
Nate from the Golf Center here, the man with the fancy shoes. We don't want this golf season to end, so come see us for everything you need to continue on warm and cozy. Push carts available now to keep that heart rate up on cool mornings. Rain jackets, windbreakers, and sweaters to layer up and make a full day of it. Gloves and hats to keep the important things comfortable. Golf balls in a variety of colors, as well as low compression balls to take the sting out of those frozen shots. All available at the Golf Center, where your game begins.
Stop into Hornbacher's for everything on your tailgating checklist this football season. Want wings? Head to the deli. Mouth-watering smokehouse products? Back in the meat department. Chips and salsa? Absolutely. Buns and condiments? You can't forget those. Drinks? Better remember the ice, too. And last but not least, fresh baked cookies from the bakery. No matter what's on your list, you'll find it at Hornbacher's. Hornbacher's, the official grocery store of North Dakota Athletics.
Welcome back to this classic rebroadcast of North Dakota football presented by Shields. We return with North Dakota leading 7-0 late first quarter, and Wyoming, once again, they were their own worst enemy with penalties in the first half that day, would continue to implode the ensuing possession, forcing another punt from midfield late in the opening quarter.
3rd and long again from the shotgun. Kaufman has time, throws to his left, complete to Jake Malhart here at midfield. And North Dakota knocks him down at the 48-yard line.
Say, Paul, one of the things we've seen today is that Kaufman is a good athlete, does have a strong arm. He's able to throw drop back or on the run. He's a good-looking quarterback.
Well, he had some outstanding games in Big Ten play a couple years ago. Against Penn State was one of them, and you can tell he's just a versatile, good athlete that can make things happen for him back there.
Zach Arnell on the stop for North Dakota. Now it's punting time for Ethan Wood. Gets it away, and Seibel will let it drop into the end zone for a touchback with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go. First quarter, our score, North Dakota 7, Wyoming nothing. Josh Santiago with a 52-yard touchdown run that we initially thought would be called back by a penalty, but the penalty turned out to be against Wyoming. Or did I say Josh? John Santiago.
Josh is his twin brother. Or maybe not.
Well, if he has one, we'd sure like to see if he's available.
I didn't know you knew him.
You were talking about penalties. 75 yards against Wyoming on 4 penalties so far. 3 penalties against North Dakota for 51 yards thus far. So from the 20, North Dakota on play action. Studsrud throwing deep and reaching out incomplete. It was intended for Clive Georges along the near sideline. With him was number 19, Anthony McCransky, a cornerback.
Coach, was that just kind of a go route straight up the sideline there?
Yeah, it was, but there was a little bit of a hesitation, but I think he shortened his stride and he kept running. I think he might have been a little bit closer to it, and he allowed the defender to catch up.
2nd and 10, 2:34 to go, first quarter. 2 receivers left and 1 right for North Dakota. Studsrud under center. There's the snap. Lateral pass out to Luke Stanley in the flat. He's knocked down after a brief gain by number 2, Robert Priester, the cornerback. They've got 2 players wearing number 2. One is the quarterback on offense and one is the cornerback on defense.
Yeah, that's one thing in college football as opposed to the pros. You have 100-plus players on a team. You're going to have duplicate numbers, so you just can't have them on both playing on the same side of the ball.
3rd and 7 as UND sends 3 receivers out to the right and 1 setback behind Studsrud. There's the snap, the handoff. Running off to the left side is John Santiago, and he is taken down at the 32-yard line, and the chains will move. It's a North Dakota first down. Chavez Pownell again making the stop.
Second time we've seen that draw, maybe third time. And the thing about it is he eats up those initial yards very quickly. Defense closes, but he's already eaten up 5-6 yards by the time they get to him.
North Dakota with 5 first downs to Wyoming's 1. 1 receiver on either side here for North Dakota. 1 setback behind Studsrud. Long count. There's the snap, the pitch back. Santiago sweeping to the left, heading to the sidelines at the 45. They will mark him out at the 35, excuse me.
And let's remember too that he's not necessarily the biggest of running backs, certainly out of the bunch that we have. And then you have a sizable bunch up front for North Dakota. So by the time you see him visually, he's already right there, and that's not always easy to tackle a guy like that who's right up on you, and you don't see him right away.
Well, he's a little guy, but he runs physical. He's tough.
Seibel wide right here on 2nd and 7. Studsrud looking to pass. He does to the far side. It's complete at midfield. And knocking him down at the 46 of Wyoming. And was that Zach Adler?
Zach Adler caught the
tight
ball.
end.
Yeah. Zach Adler was lined up at tight end on the left and just released a little bit of a circle route towards the sideline, got up behind the squatted corner, that cover 2 corner, and caught the ball in kind of the side pocket.
6 first downs now for UND. 1st and 10 from Wyoming 47. 3 receivers right. Studsrud hands off. Santiago struggles along at the line of scrimmage and gets maybe a yard. Or that's Norberg. I'm telling you, we are up high and I can't see the numbers.
It's a little bit of difference is when Santiago runs, there's just a streak of a flash of light going. And most of the other people that look like, pretty fast, but he's kind of got that super speed.
Well, that's the end of the first quarter. Our score, North Dakota 7, Wyoming nothing. You're listening to North Dakota football.
This is a classic rebroadcast of North Dakota football presented by Shields from the season opener against Wyoming in 2015. We'll get to second quarter action after these messages from our local stations on the Home of Economy Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. You are listening to a classic rewind of North Dakota's game against Wyoming on September 5th, 2015. It's being presented by Shields. Hey, North Dakota fans, make sure you check out Shields for all your Fighting Hawks gear. Shields right there with you in Bismarck, Minot, Grand Forks, Fargo, and Moorhead. We'll rejoin the broadcast team in Laramie, Wyoming.
Live from Laramie, Wyoming, War Memorial Stadium. One quarter in the books in this season opener. North Dakota 7, Wyoming nothing. The only score, John Santiago, a 52-yard touchdown run for North Dakota. Taubenheim, the PAT, with 4:44 to go. Quick thoughts on the first quarter, Mike Burke.
I don't think UND could have asked for much more. They've played very consistently on defense. Offensively, we've seen them make some big plays. Been pretty explosive. We've got to see some guys that haven't worn this uniform before, so good first quarter.
Second and 7 now for North Dakota. At the Wyoming 44 from the shotgun is Studsrud. Norberg standing to his left, a man in motion, that's George's, and it's a keeper. Studsrud bursting through the line, heading to the end zone for a touchdown. North Dakota with a 13-0 lead early second quarter.
They brought George's back in motion. A little fake to him, like read option. Studsrud kept the ball, stepped up over the right side, just in the B gap basically, and sprinted to the end zone.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
And Paul Ralston on the trip up today was talking about Studsrud's 40-yard dash time. You got a chance to show that right there.
It was...
Taubenheim kicks the PAT through, and it's 14-0 now.
It was almost as if it was meant to be, basically, that he got to showcase his 40, because in this year's media guide, the 40 times are listed for the top individual in each position category, and I was talking about it on the way up on the 45-minute drive. It was great.
And Ryan Powell put that media guide together. He cannot hear us, Paul, so what... Do you remember the time? Do you remember what?
4.64.
Okay, and he was at least 4.63 on that run.
All right, North Dakota looking good, up 14-0. This is North Dakota football on the Home of Economy Radio Network.
This is a classic rebroadcast of North Dakota football from their season opener against Wyoming in 2015, presented by Shields. You just heard sophomore quarterback Keaton Studsrud score on a 44-yard run to give UND a 2-score lead early second quarter. And people forget, Keaton throughout his career, if he was healthy, he was a very effective player on designed runs. As Coach Bubba Schweigert tells us, that's not surprising considering Keaton Studsrud's makeup of the person he is.
Yeah, he was sneaky fast. He scored from, that one was a 45-yarder, I believe. And he just kind of hit it up in there. He had a good knack for waiting for the blocking scheme to take place before he'd hit it up in there. And it was really a big run in that game. But he had several in his career. Even I look back, in naked boot to ice a game out at Portland State where the fake was so patient and really good. And he was very good at situations in the game. He was very good, at knowing when to throw the ball away. Keaton wasn't concerned about statistics. He was concerned about winning games. So throwing the ball away to avoid losses and sacks just weren't an issue for him. He really did a good job of that. And I think, the team really rallied around him just because of who he was. He's really a good leader. He was a guy that played shortstop on his high school baseball team. He played basketball, played point guard. So he was in those situations, and he played quarterback he just had it. Like I said before, he had it. He could really play quarterback.
Again, you're listening to North Dakota football's meeting with Wyoming in 2015 on the Home of Economy Radio Network from Learfield IMG College.
Calling all UND sports fans. Each UND game day, whether home or away, visit your local Valley Dairy and Valley Car Wash for exclusive game day deals. Enjoy $1 off any breakfast or single topping personal pan size hot stuffed pizza at Valley Dairy. Or buy one, get one free car washes at any of the 4 Valley Car Wash locations. Welcome to Valley Dairy. Welcome to the new official convenience store of UND Athletics.
There's nothing better than a team of doctors working together, and that's what you'll get when you call the Badger Dental Group. The Badger Dental Group is a team that offers a host of dental services, including Invisalign orthodontics and natural-looking improvements like teeth whitening procedures, tooth-colored fillings, veneers, and CEREC. New patients are always welcome for regular cleanings, too. The Badger Dental Group. We cater to cowards.
The Grand Forks Herald is proud to be a part of this UND sports broadcast. Our experienced team of sports writers are experts at bringing game details to you, whether it's high school or college level sports. Don't forget to check out their blogs, videos, and online chats for additional tidbits you won't find anywhere else. So whether on the road or at home, remember our team covers your team. Read about today's game in your Grand Forks Herald or online at grandforksherald.com.
Make quick work of outdoor chores this fall with STIHL power equipment from Home of Economy. STIHL continues to be the pro's choice for gas and battery-powered equipment. Interchangeable lithium-ion batteries add convenience to the mix, while gas power is tough to beat for the big jobs. STIHL is the name to trust for dependability and value time after time.
Home of Economy, where your dollar buys more.
Nothing better than spending summer on a pontoon. Right. Summer's over. And you don't have a pontoon. Sounds like you need to go to Revolution's Power Sports and Marine for the pontoon blow-up. Save big on all remaining pontoons. And Revolution's has winter storage, winterization, and boat shrink wrap available. Don't miss out on a great deal at Revolution's Power Sports and Marine pontoon blow-up. We need something here. Perfect. Off I-29 and 32nd Avenue South.
At Ground Round in Grand Forks, the construction is done and the new patio room is open. Enjoy the beautiful days dining outside on the patio or inside in the fresh air and sunlight through the large screen doors. The Ground Round has also added a room available to reserve for private gatherings and meetings. Check out all the new items on the menu and, of course, always a great daily special. The Ground Round, 32nd Avenue South in Grand Forks.
You've been on the farm your whole life. You've packed countless sack lunches over the years, preparing for the day ahead. Hard to imagine this day would come. Yeah, there's still the same fields, the same roads, the same hard work. But soon it'll be time for someone new to carry on the legacy. The question is, are you prepared? No matter what the future holds, Ag Country is here to help you plan ahead.
For more than 65 years, Enbridge has been safely delivering the energy you rely on every day to fuel your vehicle, heat your home, and power commerce and manufacturing. At Enbridge, they are helping to fuel your quality of life right here in North Dakota. Safely transporting energy is always their top priority. Pipeline systems and facilities are designed with state-of-the-art features and designed to meet a variety of operating conditions and pressures because safety matters. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
We rejoin this classic broadcast of North Dakota football with North Dakota leading 14-0 over Wyoming in the second quarter, and UND getting the ball back after Wyoming moved the ball to their own 48 but stalled again and was forced to punt.
If you just joined us, North Dakota with a 52-yard touchdown run in the first quarter by John Santiago, and Keaton Studsrud with a 44-yard keeper run in the second quarter, just 8 seconds gone. And that is where we are, 14-0 UND, although North Dakota did have a long touchdown negated by a penalty in the first quarter.
We probably have not credited that offensive line enough. They're doing a great job of controlling the line of scrimmage.
Backs in the eye behind Studsrud and one receiver each way. Studsrud turning behind him to give the signal. Long count here. And the give to the tailback. Santiago hit and twists his way ahead for maybe a couple. Marcus Epps, the safety, making the hit.
And those really aren't audible calls at the line of scrimmage. Those are run checks where he has a couple to choose from, 2 or 3 plays to choose from. But depending on what he calls, that changes blocking assignments too. But UND will often come up in order to get out of a bad play. We'll just call run check and leave it in the hands of the quarterback.
3 receivers in this formation for North Dakota, and Santiago the lone setback behind Studsrud under center. There's the snap. Studsrud back to pass, looks to his right, throws and overthrows Clive Georges at about the 35-yard line.
You know, he put the ball in a good spot. He threw it in a window over there on the side, and Georges wasn't quite up to catching the ball, but he was running free up the sideline. Would have been a huge play.
North Dakota has not opened the season with a road win since 2006. That was a 28-14 win at Central Washington. UND 4-3 in season openers at the D1 level, and all 4 of those wins came at home.
And Wyoming has won 11 of 12 openers. So time to make some changes for both of these.
Studsrud drops back to pass, throws. He's got a man open at the 30. It's complete to Seibel. He's taken down at the 35, and that's Marcus Epps again. I think DJ May was over in the vicinity. So, 1st and 10 for North Dakota.
And that was zone. That was at Tampa 2 zone. Deep drop by the middle backer. But Seibel got in behind him, and we were talking earlier about receivers keeping separation, which they did.
North Dakota looking at a 1st and 10 from its own 33. UND looking for its first ever win against an FBS opponent since joining the Division I ranks in 2008. North Dakota 0 for 7. And in fact, the last 3 teams they played were also Mountain West teams. San Jose State last year, San Diego State in 2012, and Fresno State in 2011.
Beautiful setting here, isn't it? This incredible, just backdrop, the field, the mountains in the end zone. What a setting for college football.
And a lot of gold in these stands. Of course, brown and gold, the Wyoming colors. Adler shifts to a tight end position on the left side of the line. 2 receivers left. 1 setback behind Studsrud. Long count. Studsrud under center. Pitches to Santiago and trying to sweep to the right, and nothing doing. They lose yardage at the 30 as Anthony McCransky, the cornerback, snuffs it out.
McCransky just crashed off the edge. When UND flipped and went to the double tight, he moved up a little bit and just crashed off the edge, a corner blitz, and was right there as Santiago got the pitch.
So that brings up 2nd and 13. A 3-yard loss back to the 30-yard line, and 3 receivers left for UND. To the shotgun goes Keaton Studsrud out of Benilde St. Margaret's High School in St. Louis Park, Minnesota. There's the snap. Studsrud gets it away, and it is caught as he throws to his left, complete at the 42-yard line by Clive Georges, who's down after the catch.
You know, he went up high. Talk about going up on a step ladder. He went up high and made an athletic play. Came down on his back with the ball, but he made a huge play there.
It was really just nice to see Clive get his first reception here for UND, and now it gets you to one of those situations, Coach, that you always talk about, 3rd and manageable. It was looking like it wasn't going to be that moments ago, but now it's 3rd and manageable for the North Dakota offense.
Look at the big dude at fullback.
3rd and 2. Is that Grant Applin? Yep, at fullback. The give to Norberg, scrambling ahead, and it's a 1st down to the 48. Big Grant Applin in there.
So they lined up in a stack I. 6'1", 300 pounds in the front of the I, then a fullback, then the tailback, Norberg. He only goes 230, so you had just about 700 pounds trying to get a yard. That worked.
Norberg for 6 yards on that carry, so 1st and 10 from the North Dakota 47. Studsrud fakes the handoff, tries to go forward, and that is going nowhere as the Cowboys swarm him. It's Tavila Falu, defensive end on the stop.
That was read option, and that defensive front of Wyoming's is very athletic. They're physical. They're not overly huge. In fact, UND outsizes them on the offensive line. And I think if it's not quick and right at them, they have a chance to get off blocks and make plays.
Stanley and Seibel go wide to the right here for North Dakota. Double tight ends and 2 backs in the eye behind Studsrud with 7:18 and counting till halftime. The give to Norberg straight ahead, and not much open there. Gets a yard or two, maybe a yard, if that. Isaac Chavez Pownell, strong safety, involved in that stop.
Well, UND persists in running right at the heart of that defense. They're trying to see if those new linebackers, particularly in the middle, guys that have never played on the defensive side, can make plays.
Yeah, Coach mentioned we got to test their eyes here coming into game one. Got to test their eyes.
3rd and 9. From the shotgun, 4 receivers here for North Dakota. Studsrud has the ball. Here comes the pressure. He scrambles. He throws. It's complete at the Wyoming 40. And making the catch is that Stanley? Luke Stanley, the native of Menominee, Wisconsin, his 2nd catch of the day, and it's a first down for North Dakota.
Well, he's 6'4". He got down in behind the linebacker in front of the safety, sat down just past the sticks, and we saw Studsrud throw a dart in there, Paul.
And it was on the move, too. He was sliding left while doing it, trying to evade some pressure and buy some time, and he did, and he just threw a bullet. It was wonderful.
Well, Wyoming brought one of their safeties, so they were covering with one safety there. He was bound to be open.
Georgia's wide right and another receiver left. The handoff. Norberg has room on the left side, and he's upended as he got to the 25. Number 31, Chavez Pownell again making the stop, but another first down for North Dakota.
And, you know, Norberg was just rumbling. One of the tenets of a UND running back is you never get taken down one-on-one by a defensive back. He did there, but that young man, Pownell, has a sore shoulder right now, I'd say. So he paid the price for making that tackle.
17-yard gain. Norberg now with 42 yards on 6 carries. 3 receivers right for North Dakota. Inside the 30. Inside the 25, excuse me. And Studsrud throws it back. Sweep to the left for Norberg, and he's forced out of bounds at the 24. And Lucas Waka, the linebacker, forcing him out.
And now back into the game comes Santiago, which is just a whole different look for that defense. So all of a sudden, things get about 2 steps quicker when you're trying to get to the edge.
Maybe a little bit of thunder and lightning developing here for this young North Dakota team.
We've called Lucas Waka's name a few times today. He's the younger brother of St. Louis Cardinal pitcher Michael Waka. 2nd and 10 at the 23. Studsrud back to pass. Throws to the right side. He's got Georges open inside the 10. Out of bounds at the 8. Another big play for the UND offense, and North Dakota threatening to pad this 14-0 lead.
Now Robert Priester's the corner out there. He's the only returning starter in this secondary. He gave Georges all kinds of room. He was a good 5 yards off of him and down inside the red zone like that, which is not the way necessarily to play it. Georges had lots of room to catch it, and Studsrud put it right on that number 1.
Ball at the 7. Stanley and Seibel line up to the right side. Although Seibel now in motion to the left. Handoff. Santiago zigs and zags and gets his way up to the 5.
The one thing that this coaching staff for North Dakota's just got to be loving right now is time of possession in this first half. It's heavily swayed in favor of North Dakota. They are controlling the football, and that is really a big, statement so far in this game.
Now that was just a little zone play to Santiago, and when you run zone against a defensive front like that, you might need to be ready to cut on every second or third step, and Santiago made a couple cuts on that play.
2nd and goal from the 5 from the shotgun. They fake the handoff. Studsrud throws to the end zone, and he overthrows big Luke Mathewson, the 6'5", 255-pound junior tight end.
He was actually pretty well covered. It would have been, that ball would have had to been dropped down. The thing was on the rise as it was going through the back of the end zone.
So 3rd and goal coming up from the 5. Santiago will be the lone setback here. Seibel, the Bismarck native, wide right, and Stanley to the left. Studsrud under center. There's the snap. Studsrud looks to throw. He'll keep it straight ahead and did not get in. Down inside the 1. Lucas Waka again making the stop. Actually, they'll mark him down at the 2. I beg your pardon.
Here comes the field goal team.
Reed Tovenheim, the kicker, and punter Mitch Mindell will be the holder. The long snapper Jacob Holman of Minot. And this will be a relative shorty. From just across the 10-yard line, so a 19-yard field goal officially. There's the snap, and he kicks it.
Delay a game.
Yeah. And is that a big deal?
Well, probably not down in here. I watched that clock running down, and it was at 10 before they even lined up.
So a topic of discussion, but...
Well, he made that one, so if he misses this next one, it's a big deal.
Then everybody's in trouble.
Yeah.
Coach, every one of those yellow hankies is a big deal for coaches, isn't it?
Man, I'm going to be nice this year. It's the first game of the year. I'm just going to...
Right hash now at the 14-yard line, a 24-yard attempt for Tobenheim. Take 2. There's the snap and the placement and the kick, and it is no good. A squandered opportunity for North Dakota, and now that penalty does hurt.
Don't mistake my silence as for not wanting to say anything.
Well, that's incredibly frustrating because that was a wonderful offensive drive, and that miscue, but that will get the coaching staff's attention, and don't want to be feeling too good about yourselves going into halftime a lot. Certainly will help things along, keep everybody focused and at the job at hand.
2:56 to go in the first half, 14-0 North Dakota. This is UND football on the Home of Economy Radio Network.
It was a long established drive, but North Dakota came away empty-handed with a missed field goal, and certainly North Dakota didn't want to give any momentum for a searching Wyoming Cowboys team that day. Today's Classic Rewind is being presented by Shields. We'll get you back to close out the first half with Coach Schweigert talking about his run defense on this day. After this message from our local station partners on the UND Football Home of Economy Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. You're listening to this classic rebroadcast of North Dakota football's 2015 season opening game against Wyoming of the Mountain West Conference. UND has just seen an opportunity to extend the lead go by the wayside with a missed field goal, but North Dakota's defense on this day was feeling stingy as they would go on to hold Wyoming to just 34 yards rushing in that first half, 41 for the game. Coach Schweigert says that's the whole foundation of UND football then as it is now.
Yeah, it's how we want to play defense, make them one-dimensional, and we just did not allow many rushing yards. I don't know what their longest run was that day, but they didn't pop any, obviously with 19 rushes for 41 yards. And then, it was all working how you win a football game when you want to play like we wanted to play. We didn't give much on the ground, and then we controlled the clock. We held the ball for over 37 minutes, and going into the fourth quarter was a huge advantage time of possession because we just really controlled the football, and it was a recipe that if you could bottle it up, that's how you want to win football games. And that day, the way we played on both sides of the ball was really fun to watch and really fun to be a part of.
Today's rebroadcast of North Dakota football is being presented by Shields. Hey, North Dakota fans, make sure to check out Shields for all your Fighting Hawks gear. Shields right there with you in Bismarck, Minot, Grand Forks, Fargo, and Moorhead.
As North Dakota misses a field goal deep in Wyoming territory, so the Cowboys take over at their 20 with 2:56 to go, trailing 14-0. 3-receiver spread here for the Cowboys. In the shotgun, Cameron Kaufman. The give to Sean Wick, struggling ahead, and it's a big mob scene there as he really had to struggle for about 3 yards there. Jake Disterhoff of North Dakota on the tackle. Coming up at halftime, we'll hear from UND head coach Bubba Schweigert as Paul Roberts is standing by to talk to him downstairs. 2:28, 2:27 and counting here. Oh, they gave me a gain of 3, I beg your pardon. Shotgun, Kaufman throws complete at the 30 to Gentry. Taken down quickly by North Dakota's Will Rattel, the product of St. Thomas Academy in Mendota Heights, Minnesota, although Will is a native of Edina.
Kaufman is a pro-style quarterback. He can throw that 3-step route like that on rhythm, move the chains. He's used to that. And so he's not doesn't exactly fit into this Wyoming offense with that style, but it's effective here.
1st and 10 from the shotgun. Kaufman again to the air. He's got a man open at midfield, and it's Tanner Gentry tripping himself on the play. 1st and 10 from the North Dakota 46 with less than 1:45 to go.
That time, Brian Labatt was trying to cover him up the field, and he just could not keep up with the wide receiver.
Now 1.5 minutes and counting on the clock. From the 46, 3 receivers in this formation. Shotgun for Cameron Kaufman. Here's the snap. Scrambling a little bit, runs, throws, complete at the 40. And it's sort of a 1st down, and again, all that time it's Brian Hill out of the backfield.
I think Wyoming took a timeout.
Well, they did, okay. That moves the ball to the 39. They have to get to the 36 for a 1st down. 1:11 to go on the clock. We've got quite a few dignitaries here on this trip. Corey Kohlauer, former UND quarterback, outstanding quarterback of the 60s, who came up from Denver to take this one in. UND president and Mrs. Robert Kelly, who Kelly used to work at the University of Wyoming. UND men's basketball coach Brian Jones is here. And David Primus, a former UND athletic department employee, now working for the University of Wyoming.
We have another dignitary, former Black Hills State University wrestler, Lauren Knittel, is here.
He's our spotter.
In the booth with us today.
Lauren is our spotter. We're glad he's here.
Our thanks to Coach Berg for knowing just about someone everywhere in this country that we can always have a spotter.
I'm looking to meet somebody from Stony Brook.
Okay.
Oh, there you
next
go.
year.
From the North Dakota 39, 2nd and 3, shotgun for Kaufman. There's the snap. North Dakota bringing pressure, and Taj Rich sacks him. A sack back to the 47 of North Dakota.
No, it wasn't only Taj Rich. Brian Labatt was there. All 3 of the down linemen were there. There were 5 people within arm's distance of him, and so they brought the house, and a good thing.
Well, Labatt had a really good push up field, and then what happened, from what I saw, and you probably saw it great up there from your angle, was Rich basically just came right up from that push, right behind it, and got right in the face of the quarterback, and he had just basically had no chance there. But that's a big defensive play, but North Dakota's still got to have some good defensive plays here in the final 67 seconds.
Loss of 10 on the play.
Yeah, the back stepped up to block Labatt, which opened it up for Rich then to come through right off of his hip and just swallowed Kaufman. You're going to see some passes to the end zone now, I would suspect, with a minute left.
3rd and 13 from the North Dakota 49. Wyoming back from its timeout. 2 receivers left, 1 right, 1 setback alongside Cameron Kaufman, son of former Kansas State tight end Paul Kaufman, who played in the NFL and played briefly with the Vikings. Here's the snap. Kaufman on the run now to his right, looking, throwing, and it's complete to the 25 on the near side. And I'm trying to pick up the number 88, Jacob Hollister, the tight end. And it was Brian Labatt, the linebacker, making a stop. But hold on here.
Oh, we have a flag back on the 38-yard line.
Yeah, there was a holding call.
Yep.
10-yard penalty for the previous spot. Replay 13.
There we finally got to hear Marvell Judy, the referee, a little bit.
The right side of Wyoming's offense just opened up for Kaufman to step out there. He stepped away from the rush and had plenty of time then to deliver the ball, and I can see why. Because Javen Butler was kind of pointing to himself, and he's the kid, I think, that got held on the edge there.
Well, it happened right in front of the North Dakota bench, and they all had their hands out pointed. The entire staff did, so they called it too.
3rd and 23 from Wyoming's 41. 44 seconds left on the clock, and the clock is moving. 4 receivers in this formation. Kaufman dumps it off to the running back, Ryan Hill, left side, and he'll run out of bounds as he crosses the 40 of North Dakota, stopping the clock with 33 seconds to go. Javen Butler forcing him out for North Dakota. And it'll be 4th and short.
You know, Hill has been probably their top receiver. He's a scary dude when he gets out in the open field.
4th and 2 from the 38. 21 yards on that gain. Hill has 3 catches for 35 yards. And a timeout for North Dakota. Next week, don't forget the home opener for North Dakota, the Potato Bowl game against Drake at 5 o'clock. We'll be on the air with our tailgate show at 4 o'clock Central Time. And then the following week, I think North Dakota's back on the road, but maybe we'll talk about that one some other time.
What do you do, Paul, here? Do you run draw, give it to one of those backs, pick up the first, clock stops, clock the ball, and then take 3 shots into the end zone?
Well, I was thinking that as well, because Wyoming only does have 1 timeout left. Now, the clock will stop on a first down, even though only momentarily, so they can run it if they are sure they can get the first down, and that's an interesting play. But I do like the fact that they've been, if you look at it from their perspective, finding a back out of the backfield, that's been a very effective play for them, as you just mentioned, Coach.
Well, UND has got their standard defense in, 4 in the secondary, so the normal 7-man front.
4 receiver spread here. Tanner Gentry moves in motion to the left. Kaufman gets the snap. Throws to his left. Oh, nearly picked off by Taj Rich at the 36-yard line. Stepped in front of the receiver, and the ball goes over.
Gentry ran a good route, just got past the sticks. They were going to do exactly that, pick up the first. Taj Rich broke on that ball, dove out for it. He couldn't have run with it because he would have been on his belly, but he knocked that thing away. Big defensive play.
Amen.
And the wind comes and goes down here. It can really get whipped up. Right now it is. Moments ago it was settled down, but kind of tunnels right through here at times.
And it is clouded over. And North Dakota will just try to run it out here. As taking a knee is Studsrud. And the clock continues ticking, 21-20. And that will be the end of the first half as the teams are going to their respective locker rooms here. And we'll get a word with North Dakota head coach Kyle Bubba Schweigert. North Dakota leading at halftime 14-0 on a pair of long touchdown runs by John Santiago and quarterback Keaton Studsrud.
Lots of boos coming out of these stands right now as Wyoming leaves the field, Pat.
Well, we heard from Kevin McKinney.
All right, guys, we got Coach Schweigert as we walk off the field. Coach, got to tell you, heck of a sound half of football by both sides, offensive and defensively, don't you think, Coach?
Well, right now our concern is, penalties have hurt us. We really need to get that cleaned up on offense. The penalties, we were able to run the football, had to take a timeout and that little communication issue. So we're going to talk about those things that we can control. And obviously we missed a short field goal that would have made it a 3-possession game, but it's early yet. We can't worry about number of possessions yet, but we get to the fourth quarter, we're going to have to worry about those number of possessions.
Some of your young players and new faces have done a nice job for you.
Playing hard, we got to keep our eyes in the right spot and stay focused on the task at hand here. We just can't be way too overexcited about the scoreboard right now.
We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Head coach Bubba Schweigert joining us here, and obviously the job only half done. We'll send it back upstairs to you guys.
Thank you very much, Paul. North Dakota 14, Wyoming nothing. Some quick stats here. Total yards, North Dakota 272 and Wyoming 141. We'll have more stats coming up on the Budweiser halftime report. Grab some buds. That's coming up next. This is North Dakota football.
This is a classic rebroadcast of North Dakota's September 5th, 2015 game against Wyoming on the Home of Economy Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Preparation is the key to success on game day. And like your favorite UND players on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. UND Pride, powered locally.
What makes your local Butler builder a better option for commercial construction? It starts with expert knowledge of the local codes and building conditions. And when you add the industry-leading product and efficiencies of Butler Manufacturing, the choice is even clearer. When you're ready to build, call Sand Steel Building Company at 701-594-4435 for the local expertise and know-how to complete your next building project.
When another Alberta Clipper blows in, nothing keeps you on the job longer than Carhartt work gear from Home of Economy. Ask anyone working outdoors. They'll tell you Carhartt makes the warmest work gear available. Traditional brown duck, Yukon Extremes, Carhartt Originals, and FR. They're all beyond tough and ready to work as hard as you do. See us today for the most sizes, styles, and selections.
Home of Economy, where your dollar buys more.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer Hip. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now, Hip. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
For more than 65 years, Enbridge has been safely delivering the energy you rely on every day to fuel your vehicle, heat your home, and power commerce and manufacturing. At Enbridge, they are helping to fuel your quality of life right here in North Dakota. Safely transporting energy is always their top priority. Pipeline systems and facilities are designed with state-of-the-art features and designed to meet a variety of operating conditions and pressures because safety matters. Learn more at enbridge.com.
Hey, Hawks fans, the pigskin is flying, pads are popping, and Shields wants to know, are you geared up? Got a jersey that needs retiring? Need a brand new hat with some fresh luck? For everything you want to wear, wave, sit on, toss around, drink from, grill on, and stick to your car. If it says Fighting Hawks, Shields has it. Shields, proud supporter of Fighting Hawks football and football fans everywhere. In Bismarck, Minot, Grand Forks, Fargo, and Moorhead.
Stop into Hornbacher's for everything on your tailgating checklist this football season. Want wings? Head to the deli. Mouth-watering smokehouse products? Back in the meat department. Chips and salsa? Absolutely. Buns and condiments? You can't forget those. Drinks? Better remember the ice, too. And last but not least, fresh baked cookies from the bakery. No matter what's on your list, you'll find it at Hornbacher's. Hornbacher's, the official grocery store of North Dakota Athletics.
Welcome back to coverage of this rebroadcast of UND football versus Wyoming, the season opener in 2015. It's being presented to you by Shields. Because Wyoming got the ball back to start the second half, it was another key sequence for the UND defense to continue to control the game.
North Dakota will kick off here to start the second half. Gentry and May deep for the Cowboys at their goal line. North Dakota moving from right to left as we start this second half. And there's the kick. And you hear the cannon go off, and May will field it in his end zone and down it right there.
You know, we don't probably talk about it often, but what a weapon to have a kicker who can make it deep into the end zone so there are touchbacks regularly. I mean, what a weapon. That's a first down and a half difference between that and letting somebody get a return or kicking it out of bounds. So that's huge.
Last year, Reed, as a freshman, averaged 62.5 yards a kick. So 1st and 10 from the 25 for the Cowboys. Down 14-0. A man in motion to the right of the line. 3 receivers. Shotgun. Kaufman throws to the left. Complete at the 30.
I think it was dropped.
Was it dropped?
Another one of those caught and dropped.
There was pressure from Deion Sanders, the cornerback for UND. So your eyes are better than mine. I need to get some new glasses, Mike. 2nd and 10.
And Deion Harris.
Yep.
Not Sanders.
Did I say Deion Sanders?
That's all right.
Okay, I quit. You can do it the rest of the year. Wow. Well, I told you I was rusty. 2 tight ends shift to the left side of the line. The handoff, Wick trying to turn the left corner, and he is not going to be able to do it. It's Chris Brown and Will Rattel for North Dakota on the tackle.
I'll tell you what, you saw a potential All-American running back just get smoked by Will Rattel on the corner, and Chris Brown is not very big, but yeah, no chance to get off the edge on that one.
3rd and 11 now. Again from the shotgun, Kaufman. 3 receivers. Setback aligns himself to the left of Kaufman. There's the snap. UND pressure. Oh, and the pass to the left sideline is broken up. And incomplete. That was Deion Harris again.
Deion Harris broke on the ball, and had he been one step closer, that would have been in the end zone for him. But that's, again, we mentioned it earlier in the first half. Kid's 6'3", but he moves like one of those 5'8", 5'9" corners. He's just very, very quick with that great size.
Josh Seibel back to receive the punt at his own 35. Ethan Wood standing at his 11, a low snap. Wood gets the punt away. Under it, Seibel at his 32. Slips 1 tackle, but 3 more Cowboys come back to take him down and push him back to the 25. They'll mark his progress at the 33.
Now, once again on that tackle, Antonio Hull was the kid that got the penalty, I think, in the first half when he got a little over-exuberant. Explained to Mr. Seibel why he was so superior. Just about again. He's going a little off down there.
North Dakota now with the first chance on offense after the 3 and out for Wyoming to open the 3rd quarter. A couple of tight ends, fullbacks, fullbacks move to the left side of the line. 2 receivers here, 1 on either side. Studsrud under center. There's the snap, drops back to pass, and it's batted down at the line.
That's Yarbrough.
55. Eddie Yarbrough from Aurora, Colorado.
Yeah, he is a defensive lineman that has the quicks and the athleticism of linebacker. Probably what he'll end up playing in the NFL. He's their guy. If they have a guy on the cover of their media guide, I would suspect it's him.
Well, he's on the watch list, for the Rotary Lombardi Award for the 2nd consecutive year. 2nd and 10 now. North Dakota in the shotgun. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Studsrud gets the snap, throws to the near sideline, and it is way over the head of Miguel Saratino.
You know, we haven't heard from Miguel today. They've covered him pretty well. He hasn't been able to get open, and, well, I don't know that he's been targeted yet as a receiver, but we have yet to see him catch one.
Coach, you said that, I guess the coaches have said that he had a very, good fall camp, I guess. He took some good strides from where he was at last year.
I was a little negative last year because he dropped too many. Clearly, just dropped too many. And he hasn't done that in pre-fall. He just hasn't had many directed his way yet in this game.
3rd and 10. Studsrud looking to throw. He does to Seibel on the near side at the 40, complete, but it'll be a few yards shy of the first down. DJ May there on the stop, and one of the Cowboys is down.
If that's DJ May, he has yet to get through a season unscathed, and I'm thinking that You don't like to speculate.
It looks like a double-digit number, Mike, but I can't make it out. Just a couple of housekeeping details while we're at it. We haven't mentioned a couple of injuries for North Dakota. Sophomore tight end Kyle Rue and redshirt freshman running back Tyler Coyne are out for the season. And 2 players not available today because of suspensions. Junior fullback Dustin Iverson today serving the first of a 2-game suspension. Redshirt freshman defensive lineman Tank Harris serving a 1-game suspension today. Both violated athletic department policy.
And it's really frustrating for those athletes to be injured in preseason. And really, I saw both of the injuries occur. They didn't happen on the practice field. They kind of just, that's number 19 coming off.
And that is Anthony McCransky, the redshirt freshman cornerback out of Friendswood, Texas. But he's jogging off on his own power.
Speaking of Texas, what did I mention to you earlier about where Craig Bowl was last night with one of the assistants, Mike Bath? They were in Texas recruiting last night.
Holy cow.
Took a 4-hour flight home from Texas to be home today for the ball game. I was talking to him before the game. And, yeah, they get around a little bit.
4th down, Mitch Mindell punting for North Dakota. Gentry back at his 10, fields it, steps to his left, and North Dakota all over that. And it looks like Javen Butler made the contact. And it'll be 1st and 10 from the 15 for the Cowboys. A beautiful day here in Laramie, Wyoming. Game time temp of 76 degrees. The sun is back out, although we still have some clouds in the sky.
Do you think it would be this nice here if we came back in November?
No. They've got the snow fences up, though, and we passed those. Actually, the team stayed in Cheyenne overnight and made the drive of about 50 miles to Laramie today. So Wyoming looking for something on offense here, starting from its own 20, 1st and 10 with 5:08 to go in the 3rd quarter. Kaufman hands off, and Wick is collared around the ankles there by
Will Rattel.
Will Rattel, number 51.
One thing you see with this Wyoming offense is a lot of pullers. Guards, tackles, anybody will pull. They run what a lot of people call a wrap play, where they just pull the guard right around the center and try to get him back up on the linebacker. Will took on the blocker and made the tackle.
So 2nd and 9. Cowboys with 1 receiver wide left and 2 receivers lined up to the right from the shotgun. Cameron Kaufman. Pressure coming, gets it away down the far side, and got an interference penalty at midfield on North Dakota. It'll be on Dion Harris.
I think a good call. He got in the receiver's face, didn't turn his head to look for the ball. It was just a simple, really fade route, and receiver just released, ran up the field, and got a step on Dion. Dion had to play catch up, and that's where the flag came in.
So the 5th penalty of the day against North Dakota.
Oh, boy.
19. 15 yards from the previous spot, an automatic 1st down.
There you hear the call from referee Marvell July. The attendance today, 23,669. This place holds 29,000, so not a full house, but a good throng on hand for game 1. And Paul, you were going to say something.
Well, I was just going to say that, North Dakota leading 14-0 here on the Nodak Mutual Insurance scoreboard with 4:22 left to play in the 3rd. You take these opportunities. Let's see how if they can find a way to get to the finish line. It's getting fun now.
And I was going to say, Pat, you could have backed me up. I said there were 30,000 in here, and you just said 23,000. I know you have to read the accurate attendance, but come on.
From the shotgun, the handoff to the tailback, tries to get across the 35, and gets nothing as Connor O'Brien and among others are in there.
I'll tell you what was impressive to see on that play was Noah Johnson shedding his blocker. He just shucked him out of the way to get back into the play and make that tackle. That was impressive to see.
And I'm going to check and see, guys. I wrote it down. There are on this trip 8 defensive linemen. They've all played today.
Pass to the near sideline to Gentry, complete at the 40, but it'll be 3rd down and 6. Clock stops with 3:41 to go.
Now, I'm talking to Coach Eric Schmidt. He's mentioned this quarterback is very good when he is able to convert 3rd downs consistently. And what you might look for here, he likes to run bootleg on this.
3rd and 6 at the Wyoming 40. And Kaufman, why did he leave Indiana? He fell down to 3rd on the depth chart as a junior. He originally visited Wyoming, so he's back with him. Pass over the middle, complete. And it looks like they've got the 1st down. They do. Gentry on the receiving end.
Well, this is something we haven't seen a lot of today. A couple of 1st downs back-to-back. Is it 3 or is it 2? But they've been able to move the chains a couple times on this possession.
It's kind of a skinny slant route there that just kind of broke open in front of the quarterback, Kaufman, and he threw a perfect strike.
7 yards on the play. Gentry 7 catches, 70 yards now, high for Wyoming. 2 receivers, left backs in the eye behind Kaufman. The give to the tailback, Hill. North Dakota with some quick contact, and they shove them back, but they'll mark the progress at the 46-yard line.
Wasn't much question about what they were going to do that time. They shifted in that formation to 9 men on the line of scrimmage. So they had 2 in the backfield, 9 guys on the line up there to block somebody.
Clock ticking away. 2 minutes, 18 seconds to go, 3rd quarter. North Dakota leading 14-0 on first half touchdowns by John Santiago, a 52-yard run, and Keaton Studsrud, a 44-yard run. From the shotgun, Kaufman with time, rolls to his right, throws to the near sideline, and it is out of the reach of Jake Malhart. And he was defended there by Chris Brown. And it'll be 3rd and 11.
Paul, the crowd kind of murmuring there, but I don't think that was even close to interference.
Yeah, I mean, from my vantage point, it's impossible for me to see along the near sideline at that angle, so I don't even know if we even got near the receiver on the pass.
I didn't even touch him.
A few heads turned, but no flag was thrown. 3rd and 11 from the 46 of Wyoming. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Kaufman in the shotgun. There's the snap. Kaufman pressured, and was that batted down? It looked like number 11 for North Dakota. Or Brian Labatt, is it?
Well, it was Will Rattel on the play, and actually Brian Hill was the intended receiver. He was behind the line of scrimmage on a middle screen, and he actually pushed Will Rattel after the play. I might recommend against that in case you run into each other someplace later.
Punting time for Wyoming. Wood into punt. It's a low off the side of the foot punt. It bounces past Seibel, and they can't save it. It goes into the end zone. 1:48 to go. And North Dakota leading 14-0. We've had no scoring here in the 3rd quarter. Whether your team comes out on top or had a tough day, relaxing with friends and enjoying the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment is the perfect way to unwind. Budweiser, great times are waiting. Grab some buds and please drink responsibly.
Guys, what we need to see now is a possession ending this quarter, going into the 4th quarter. Move the chains. Whether you get scores out of this or not, you need to move those chains 3 times on this possession.
From the 20, North Dakota gives to Santiago, sidesteps a defender, cuts to the right. Now he's going down the sideline. He's dragging a man with him as he goes out at the 45 of Wyoming. That was Chavez Pownell, the strong safety. North Dakota with a huge play to start this drive.
Well, he just left a player back there in the dust, just looking up at the sky like, where did he go?
Well, here's the thing. If I don't know what film Wyoming got to look at. They didn't see John Santiago on any UND film. And so maybe that staff knew something about him in high school when they were at NDSU. But, he's an unknown to them.
Gain of 30 to the 50. Studsrud hands to Norberg. Tries the right side. Crashes ahead for one or two. On the Nodak Mutual scoreboard update, Mike, Idaho State leads Black Hills State 14-0 first quarter.
It's not true. That could be, okay. Deep in the fourth quarter, first quarter?
First quarter. Did I say fourth? First quarter.
2 plays into the first quarter.
Did you? You went to school at Black Hills State, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Just wanted to clarify that. Second and 10.
I knew you weren't just reading scores off.
More scores coming up later as Studsrud goes back to pass, throws toward the far sideline, complete to Saratino, and he's forced out of bounds at the 39-yard line by Anthony McCransky, the cornerback who was shaken up earlier and is back in the game.
And there's a play, Coach, where you see where he's developed, where we talked about earlier, him taking those strides. He makes a good catch, secures it, inbounds, and at the stick. That was really well done, don't you think?
Well done. And first of all, he ran a good route, so he got to where he needed to be. He got separation, and he caught the ball. And, well executed.
11-yard gain to the 39 of Wyoming. North Dakota under center is Studsrud. Gives to Santiago. Has room on the left side. Oh, he's hit high.
Face mask.
Yeah, and up to the 35, and flags are on the field.
He's at the 35. His head is at the 40.
There was definite contact.
Defense number 87. 15 yards from the end of the run and an automatic first down.
The guilty party, Connor Kane, a redshirt freshman defensive tackle.
And, Paul, I want to go back to what you were talking about. Play calling here has been good. It's kept Wyoming off balance. So even though UND obviously wants to run the ball, they've mixed in enough play-action pass to really keep Wyoming from just teeing off.
It really has been maybe not the third quarter you're exactly looking for points, but it has been an effective third quarter for North Dakota.
And the third quarter has come to an end. North Dakota 14, Wyoming nothing. North Dakota looking for its first win over an FBS opponent since moving to Division I. Back with the fourth quarter. You're listening to UND football on the Home of Economy Radio Network.
And that's the way most of the third quarter would play out, as the teams would exchange series that would end in punts throughout the third quarter. The broadcast is being presented today by Shields. Hey, North Dakota fans, make sure to check out Shields for all your Fighting Hawks gear. Shields right there with you in Bismarck, Minot, Grand Forks, Fargo, and Moorhead. We'll continue with more of North Dakota versus Wyoming, the 2015 season opener, after these important messages from our station partners. Welcome back to this classic rewind broadcast of UND football's 2015 season opening game against Wyoming. Today's rebroadcast is being presented by Shields. After both teams settled into a battle of attrition in the third quarter, North Dakota starts the fourth with the ball deep on the Wyoming side of the field.
The University of North Dakota has a 14-0 lead on the road against an FBS opponent, the University of Wyoming. North Dakota now will open the fourth quarter, 1st and 10, from the Wyoming 20-yard line. North Dakota moving from left to right here. And we'll give you some quick stats when we get a chance. These numbers are quite amazing. Studsrud in the shotgun. Man in motion, they give to the man in motion. That's Seibel trying to turn the corner on the right side. A flag down at the line of scrimmage on the near side, though, as Seibel crashes up to the 11-yard line.
That's going to be on the defense. They lined up offside, I believe, Pat.
Yep, it's, I thought he did not turn his mic on, the referee. Let's hear him now.
Offside. Defense. Number 2. Penalty decline. Second down.
That's Robert Priester, the cornerback.
Now, why is a cornerback lining up offside?
That's a good
He can
question.
look all the way down the line of scrimmage.
Okay. Cover 2, they're up close. But, no, you're not in the other team's backfield.
All right, so that makes it 2nd down and 1 from the 11. Shotgun here again for Studsrud. One receiver either way. And in motion is Seibel to the left. And they fake the handoff to Seibel. Ahead is Studsrud, and he dives in. No, he'll be marked down shy of the goal line.
He ended up in the end zone,
Yes.
but he bounced from about the 2 into the end zone, and so they're going to give it to him inside the 1. Nice play, same play he scored on before.
And Priester made the tackle, the guy who committed the last penalty. So first and goal from inside the 1. North Dakota with a huge opportunity here to distance itself from Wyoming early fourth quarter. 14-0 is our score. And the officials have stopped play here.
You know what? I think they might take a UND player out for a play because he lost his helmet.
That's right.
Rule is under further review.
Okay, they're going to review the play.
Because it was a potential scoring play.
Right.
One of the other things, if it is, first down and goal from inside the 1, you go to that heavy package that we saw earlier on a third down play. That seemed to be effective on that play.
I don't even call that heavy package or jumbo package. I'd call that industrial strength package. Oh, my gosh. That is like taking an offensive line and putting it in the backfield. Asking, did any of you ever carry the ball in high school? You're getting it.
Oh, well, we mentioned some of the numbers, and we've got a moment here. Through 3 quarters, we talked at the top about how Wyoming had the vaunted tandem of running backs in Sean Wick and Brian Hill, and North Dakota had the running back by committee. So far, North Dakota 237 yards on the ground on 32 carries. Wyoming 48 yards on 17 carries. Passing yards, about even. North Dakota 139, Wyoming 123. Total offense, North Dakota has run 54 plays for 376 yards. Wyoming 42 plays, 171.
Pat, of all of my sins as a coach over the years, the biggest may have been is I didn't give a squat about stats. Mm-hmm. I'm a non-stat guy totally. But these stats are telling a tale here today.
Absolutely.
They are absolutely telling the story. It's amazing. Who would have thunk it?
North Dakota with a chance to tack on to that 14-0 lead. First and goal inside the 1. Stanley. Luke Stanley lines up wide to the left. Seibel to the right. Under center is Studsrud. And he tries to sneak it in. Studsrud tries to turn the corner on the right side, and the Cowboys force him back. Tried to turn it back in, and it did not work.
Well, he tried to spin out of it. He tried to get it on an initial jump and get the ball over the plane. Didn't fly. He tried to spin out of there, and that gave those big old defenders a chance to get their mitts on him.
Lucas Waka and Tim Kamina, linebackers, stopping him for no gain. Second down and goal. 2 setbacks in the eye behind Studsrud. Jacob Francis, the fullback. Studsrud under center and hang on. Bubba was practically running on the field calling timeout.
Timeout. North Dakota. They're first of the half.
Well, we're going to give the University of Jamestown a shout out here. Bubba showed some of that speed that he exhibited for Raleigh Greeno at Jamestown. Running out there, he got almost to the 15.
He was always claiming, he didn't run fast enough to get to play here at UND, but I contend that he showed pretty good burst there.
He's fast enough to coach at UND.
Yes, he most certainly is.
Folks, it's too bad this game isn't on television, but it gives us a captive audience because it's not even online.
Why isn't it?
I don't understand.
Why? FBS. Shall we start on? No, I'll get in trouble. I'm dropping it.
Mike, let me get this in, and then you can get back on your soapbox. The Golf Center reminds you not to give up on the golf season. There's still plenty of golf to be played. The new Ping Eye G-Max Series irons have arrived, along with the great Big Bertha driveway from Callaway. Discover those new offerings and more today at the Golf Center in Grand Forks. It's where your game begins, and the Golf Center sponsors our long drive of the game.
I would say that this is this would be a good candidate for a long drive of the game, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yes. Good transition there. Change of subject.
Yeah, I needed to get you out of that.
I like that. Thank you.
I'm just glad people are listening to us today.
That's right.
I will discourse on this at the end of the game if it ends the way we let. No, I won't.
We thank you wherever you are along our radio network. Second and goal from the half-yard line. Studsrud will go under center. with 2 backs in the eye and 1 receiver wide left. And the referees are getting set up, the officials that is, and the back judge is ready, and here we go. No, we don't go. We have a few more seconds. 13:30 to go. And now that gives the Wyoming defense a chance to wave its arms to get the crowd into it. And not many people get very loud. Now it's building. Here we go. Francis, the fullback. Studsrud under center. A long count. Studsrud gives to the tailback, and in for a touchdown is Santiago. North Dakota leads it 20-0.
And you know what we saw there? We saw him hesitate. And actually, you don't want backs to hesitate, especially on the goal line. He took a step, he stopped, he let the defense penetrate, he took a little lateral step, and boom, he's in the end zone. That's instincts. You don't teach that. There's no drill for that.
John Santiago, his second touchdown of the game, and Taubenheim steps in to the PAT, and this is good. And the count is now 21-0, North Dakota.
I think if there's a way to get 23,739 or whatever folks quieted down, there aren't that many here now. That's how many were here when it started. It's just to come out like this, and this is no put down of Wyoming at all. They have a long and proud tradition, and they'll get this thing going. But UND has played a good football game today. Solid. Solid. Now,
what are the coaches telling the guys? Because this game is far from over.
Yeah, no, there's no way. And you keep attacking. You don't go into some different mode now, into protection mode, and we're going to play an extra outfielder now to protect from the long ball. No.
We know full too well. Remember South Dakota at the Alaris Center.
Yeah.
Pat, you were on the call that time, so it can happen.
Keep attacking. Keep the pressure on. Score 2 more times.
Taubenheim kicks off from the 35, and it comes down inside the 10, and DJ May tightrope the sidelines trying to make the catch, and he goes out at the 8-yard line. A big break for North Dakota, and May, in frustration, throws the ball back to the official.
Yeah, on that one, you teach them to let that ball go, and he caught it and had nowhere to go but out of bounds. Again, that's a linebacker returning kickoffs.
A former running back, in all fairness.
So what? When you go to defense, you forget about that stuff.
North Dakota, by the way, we were talking about that last drive, 8 plays, 80 yards in 3 minutes, 23 seconds. So Wyoming in the shotgun, 1st and 10 from its 8-yard line. Kaufman throws quickly to the left side, and it is broken up by a diving
Deion Harris.
Deion Harris.
I'll tell you what, Deion Harris today has really put a stamp on his role on this defense. He's made far more plays than made mistakes, and that's a good step for him.
I've ridden this horse until it's dropped, but I'm going to get 1 more inch out of it. That long body stretched out and knocked that ball down. If he's 5'9", that play doesn't get made.
2nd and 10. 3 receivers in this set. Kaufman from the shotgun. Running out of the end zone now to his left, throws it down the field, and he had his man, but it was out of bounds at about the 35. He was looking for Josh Harshman, the tight end.
And Zach Arnell broke on that, got a paw out to knock. It was going to be out of bounds anyway, but he made a dive at that thing, just literally levitated and got his hand on that ball.
3rd and 10 from the 8, 13 minutes, 14 seconds to go. And honesty compels me to report that a few people have left this game, more than a few. 2 receivers right for Wyoming. The quarterback heaves it long. He's got a man open at the 50-yard line. It's Gentry, and he will take it in for a score. Got behind 2 defenders. Wyoming on the board with 13:03 to go. 92 yards.
And that was the passing league play that you see where you just step back and air it out and let a guy run under it. We know they have skilled receivers and talented skilled players, and that was executed to perfection. He ran right by the secondary.
So just 22 seconds after that last North Dakota touchdown, Cameron Kaufman has his first touchdown pass as a Wyoming Cowboy, 92 yards to Tanner Gentry. And now the the walk-on freshman Tristan Bailey comes in for the PAT, and he boots it wide left. So 21-6 is our score with 13:03 to go, and let's take a break here. This is North Dakota football.
This rebroadcast of North Dakota football from War Memorial Stadium in Laramie, Wyoming against the University of Wyoming in 2015 is being presented by Shields as you're listening to UND football on the home of economy, Sports Network from Learfield, IMG College.
Hey, Hawks fans, the pigskin is flying, pads are popping, and Shields wants to know, are you geared up? Got a jersey that needs retiring? Need a brand new hat with some fresh luck? For everything you want to wear, wave, sit on, toss around, drink from, grill on, and stick to your car. If it says Fighting Hawks, Shields has it. Shields, proud supporter of Fighting Hawks football and football fans everywhere. In Bismarck, Minot, Grand Forks, Fargo, and Moorhead.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite UND players on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. UND Pride, powered locally.
For more than 65 years, Enbridge has been safely delivering the energy you rely on every day to fuel your vehicle, heat your home, and power commerce and manufacturing. At Enbridge, they are helping to fuel your quality of life right here in North Dakota. Safely transporting energy is always their top priority. Pipeline systems and facilities are designed with state-of-the-art features and designed to meet a variety of operating conditions and pressures because safety matters. Learn more at enbridge.com.
It seems around here every town is a sports town. And why not? Sports were important to us growing up, and we want the same for our kids. To get involved, to compete, because that's how kids learn to lead. And why Farmers Union Insurance supports these programs. They know sports aren't just about building skill and strength, but about building character. Farmers Union Insurance. They don't just protect our community, they invest in it.
Nate from the Golf Center here, the man with the fancy shoes. We don't want this golf season to end, so come see us for everything you need to continue on warm and cozy. Push carts available now to keep that heart rate up on cool mornings. Rain jackets, windbreakers, and sweaters to layer up and make a full day of it. Gloves and hats to keep the important things comfortable. Golf balls in a variety of colors, as well as low compression balls to take the sting out of those frozen shots. All available at the Golf Center, where your game begins.
We cater to cowards. The Badger Dental Group has long been known as the dental office that caters to cowards. Year after year, patients praise this team for their hands-on care, comfort, and patience given to them. The Badger Dental Group uses the latest technology and takes extra steps to cater to cowards. They want to make you feel welcome, comfortable, and informed, and they love new patients. Experience the difference experience makes. Call the Badger Dental Group today.
Stop into Hornbachers for everything on your tailgating checklist this football season. Want wings? Head to the deli. Mouth-watering smokehouse products? Back in the meat department. Chips and salsa? Absolutely. Buns and condiments? You can't forget those. Drinks? Better remember the ice, too. And last but not least, fresh baked cookies from the bakery. No matter what's on your list, you'll find it at Hornbachers. Hornbachers, the official grocery store of North Dakota Athletics.
Welcome back. We return you to this classic rebroadcast of UND football's 2015 season opener against Wyoming. Today's rebroadcast is being presented by Shields. Hey, North Dakota fans, make sure you check out Shields for all your Fighting Hawks gear. Shields right there with you in Bismarck, Minot, Grand Forks, Fargo, and Moorhead. We rejoin the broadcast with North Dakota having just seen the Cowboys get on the board.
Could possibly be good out of giving up a 92-yard touchdown pass. It said Eric Schmidt now got to take out his Sharpie and put in big, bold letters something to talk about at his meeting on Sunday with these players, because he's not a happy man.
No.
Well, shouldn't it let anybody deeper than you at this point in the game?
No.
One receiver either side here for North Dakota, although Georges comes in motion to the left, and the handoff to the tailback for a couple of yards as Santiago hurdles his way to the 28, or the 27, excuse me.
They do it out of different formations, but UND has a nice offensive package out of the jet motion where they can hand it off, quarterback can keep it, where they've had two big plays today, including a touchdown, where they can fake it, hand it off to another back. They can get two fakes. So they've got a whole offensive package out of that jet motion.
Seibel shifting to the left side as UND. There's the snap. Studsrud turns to his left, looks over the middle, has a man at the 40, and it's complete. And it's Luke Matheson, the tight end. Matheson from Libertyville, Illinois, the junior, and it's a first down for North Dakota.
And that's the kind of passes we saw Luke be very effective with last year. He is a big, big body. He gets in the secondary. He's 6'5", 255. He's a big target. He's not going to run away from anybody, but he's a great possession receiver. Got himself open in the middle there.
That last touchdown, 1 yard short of the Wyoming longest pass play in school history, which was 93 yards, Brett Smith to Robert Heron in 2013. Now, 1st and 10 from the North Dakota 41. Two receivers left, one right for North Dakota. Studsrud pitches it back to Santiago, cutting it back in up to the 45 and up to the 46.
Here comes a flag.
And a flag was thrown in there on the behind the pile. 47. Tavita Fayu, defensive end on the stop. Let's get the call here.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense number 47. 15 yards.
That was Fayu committing the infraction.
And these kinds of penalties, this early in the first half, we talked about the number of penalties and how they weren't necessarily undisciplined kind. This one here wasn't an aggressive, just trying to make a play penalty. This was a guy sticking his hand out there for no reason.
1st and 10 for North Dakota at the 38 of Wyoming. Two backs in the eye behind Studsrud under center. Francis, the fullback, Jacob Francis. They give to the tailback. Santiago tries to spin out of the tackle, and he worms his way up to the 36. Number 31, Chavez Pownell, again, the strong safety involved in the stop. We've called his name a lot today.
He came up, he got out of coverage and came up and lined up in a blitz, a deep blitz position. The thing about that is when you're lined up that far off the line of scrimmage, you can't make a play at the line of scrimmage. You're too far away. And so he was flat-footed when the ball was snapped, and then he came.
Two fullbacks / tight ends right side, one on the left and one receiver left. Two backs in the eye. 2nd and 8 from the 36. North Dakota quarterback Keaton Studsrud with the long count. Gives to the tailback. Santiago has some room on the right side. Crashes up to the 30-yard line. Or excuse me, that's Juwan Arrington into the game, the senior out of Birmingham.
Now, UND in double tight that time with a flanker. Wyoming put man-to-man coverage on the wide receiver. Basically 9 other guys up on the line of scrimmage. You block all of those, and who's left? Not many. So a nice gain by Arrington, who's still operating at about 90%.
So Arrington with 7 yards on his first carry for North Dakota stays in the game. 3rd and 1 from the 29 of Wyoming. And Studsrud to the pistol here. The clock ticking away, 9:55. Long count here, and Studsrud ready for the snap. In motion to the left, Seibel. They give to, no, they fake the handoff to Seibel, and Studsrud keeps it, banging his way up to the 26. It's a first down for North Dakota.
That's the play Studsrud scored on earlier, and what he was doing there was milking the play clock.
Right.
He was just watching the play clock run down. That's pretty headsy play for a freshman, or actually a sophomore now, because he played as a true freshman.
I agree to milk the play clock, but I get a little nervous when the guys are down in their stance for that long. Sometimes it gets to be a long time.
Hey, they spent a lot of time in the weight room last winter and spring and summer.
Now 3 backs in the eye behind Studsrud and 1 receiver right. 4-3 on the play clock. They get the play off. Hand off to the tailback, and no room up the middle.
Yeah, that was that industrial strength package, and that's going to keep the clock running. I don't know if we want to say that's too conservative, and of course they're sending in wide receivers now, so they'll open it up on this down. But it's keeping Wyoming off balance. I'll tell you what, their defensive coordinator's earning his money today. He's working for a living, trying to come up with ways to stop this offense.
Little to no gain for Arrington, who's the lone setback now behind Studsrud. 2 receivers left, but here comes Seibel in motion. They fake the handoff and give to Arrington up ahead, but again, the hole closes quickly as he gets up to the 24-yard line.
UND has been an exclusively 2 tight ends most of this possession. And what that does is it spreads the defensive front out for Wyoming. They're not able to move down, run unders, or move people. And so it spreads them out, which creates more holes on the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 8 from the 24. 7 minutes, 54 seconds to go in the 4th quarter and counting. 2 receivers left, 1 right. They hand off, and it'll be a loss here back to the 30. Santiago snowed under. I got to try that name again, Mike.
Honolulu. It's Honolulu.
Hopi involved in the tackle. I'm sorry. That's a mouthful.
That time Wyoming, they're in a 43 defense. They filled every gap with a body. It went man coverage. Everybody's coming every gap, and they just were all over Santiago.
So now Reed Taubenheim will try a 45-yard field goal. The spot will be in the middle of the field, and a timeout called.
Timeout. North Dakota, the second of that.
Sean Kostic, special teams coordinator, was out calling that timeout, so he saw something that he didn't like. I don't know if they're a man short. Indeed, they are.
And that's what they were working on earlier in the week, and sure enough, they had to burn a timeout for it.
Shall I say his name?
Sure.
Nah. But his initials are Stockwell.
Oh, jeez. Well, you know, it is the first game of the season,
yes.
and we see a lot of mistakes.
And he was injured all last year, didn't play. That's still not an excuse.
In fairness.
No, there's no fair. Get on the field when you're kicking a field goal.
Actually, it was Francis who identified it and looked over to the sideline and said, we need to call a timeout.
That's because it's his job to count.
Yep.
I'm just saying, when you go into the season opener, you try to keep those mistakes to a minimum, but you know something's going to happen. Now, the field goal try by Taubenheim from 45 yards away. A low kick, and it goes through. North Dakota now up 24-6 with 7:10 remaining.
All is forgiven, Mr. Taubenheim. That dink in the first half.
And with a break in the action, we will pause. This is North Dakota football.
You're listening to a rebroadcast of North Dakota football from their game on September 5th, 2015 against Wyoming. And UND will be looking to make history by trying to bring an FBS win across the finish line after the break from our local stations. You're listening to a rebroadcast of North Dakota football's 2015 season opening game against FBS foe Wyoming. It's being presented to you by Shields. Hey, North Dakota fans, make sure you check out Shields for all your Fighting Hawks gear. Shields is right there with you in Bismarck, Minot, Grand Forks, Fargo, and Moorhead. North Dakota is about to put the finishing touches on a historical moment in its football program's Division I history.
Coming down to the goal line, and it's DJ May following his blocker Gentry, who just got plastered. May finds a hole down the sideline. He's out of bounds at the 48. They'll mark it at the 47. And a flag is down back at the 15-yard line. Wyoming passes, and it is complete to Jacob Hollister inside the North Dakota 35 with 6:57 to go.
And that previous play, the flag was on the 15, must have been against UND because...
no, they just picked it up. There was no flag on the play.
No flag, okay. Okay. Wyoming threatening again here from the 32. Kaufman with time, throws it deep, and it is overthrown. Jake Malhart had distanced himself from the D-back, but could not get to the ball.
Jameer Irvin Sills was on that. He must have seen receivers like that when he was playing at Mississippi State. But the receiver got behind him, and he was trying to play catch-up ball, just overthrown.
.647 to play. North Dakota 24, Wyoming 6. John Santiago has a pair of touchdown runs today for North Dakota. Keaton Studsrud has another. And here's Kaufman from the shotgun, scrambling to his right, being pursued by Rattel, heading for the sidelines. He's out of bounds at the 30. Gain of 2.
I don't like to get defensive. I hate it when teams, and I'm not saying they're doing that, but I'm going to do it right now. They're still, UND is still 3 scores ahead, 3 possessions ahead. Mm-hmm. And so you don't want to give up this score here, and they're not laying off. But I'm not going to panic yet.
3rd and 8 from the 4. 3 receivers set. Kaufman throws to the right side, complete. And Malhart makes the catch, still a few yards shy of the first down. And the tackle made by Deion Harris of North Dakota. So 4th and 2, and they will go for it, trailing 24-6. Kaufman from the shotgun. Pressure comes, complete, down to the far sideline. Jake Malhart, and a first down at the 12-yard line.
Now, in that situation, 4th and 2, all of the UND defensive backs were off a good 6 to 7 yards, so they were going to give that first down up, I think. They just weren't going to give up a touchdown.
1st and 10 from the 12. Kaufman from the shotgun, looks, throws, and it went behind Gentry. And that stops the clock with 5:48.
You know what happened there? Brian Labatt, outside linebacker, rerouted Gentry. Gentry's trying to run that slant in there, and it's called rerouting, which basically means knocking the dog out of the receiver and knocking him off his route.
The fans who have stayed hoping for a miracle comeback for Wyoming. The band, though, making the most noise right now. 3 receivers spread. 2nd and 10 from the 12. Kaufman looking, throwing to the end zone. Touchdown. Tyree Mayfield, a redshirt freshman tight end, on the reception.
Bad matchup there for UND. They had Will Rattel trying to cover Mayfield. 6'3" versus about 6 feet, and I'd say Mayfield's a step or 2 faster.
In comes the true freshman, the walk-on from Colorado Springs, Tristan Bailey. He missed his last PAT attempt. He tries it again, and this one goes through. And now with 5:44 to go, it is North Dakota 24 and Wyoming 13.
When another Alberta Clipper blows in, nothing keeps you on the job longer than Carhartt work gear from Home of Economy. Ask anyone working outdoors. They'll tell you Carhartt makes the warmest work gear available. Traditional brown duck, Yukon Extremes, Carhartt Originals, and FR. They're all beyond tough and ready to work as hard as you do. See us today for the most sizes, styles, and selections.
Home of economy, where your dollar buys more.
Calling all UND sports fans. Each UND game day, whether home or away, visit your local Valley Dairy and Valley Car Wash for exclusive game day deals. Enjoy $1 off any breakfast or single topping personal pan size hot stuffed pizza at Valley Dairy. Or buy one, get one free car washes at any of the 4 Valley Car Wash locations. Welcome to Valley Dairy. Welcome to the new official convenience store of UND Athletics.
What makes your local Butler builder a better option for commercial construction? It starts with expert knowledge of the local codes and building conditions. And when you add the industry-leading product and efficiencies of Butler Manufacturing, the choice is even clearer. When you're ready to build, call Sand Steel Building Company at 701-594-4435 for the local expertise and know-how to complete your next building project.
You've been on the farm your whole life. You've packed countless sack lunches over the years, preparing for the day ahead. Hard to imagine this day would come. Yeah, there's still the same fields, the same roads, the same hard work. But soon it'll be time for someone new to carry on the legacy. The question is, are you prepared? No matter what the future holds, Ag Country is here to help you plan ahead.
The Grand Forks Herald is proud to be a part of this UND sports broadcast. Our experienced team of sports writers are experts at bringing game details to you, whether it's high school or college level sports. Don't forget to check out their blogs, videos, and online chats for additional tidbits you won't find anywhere else. So whether on the road or at home, remember our team covers your team. Read about today's game in your Grand Forks Herald or online at grandforksherald.com.
For more than 65 years, Enbridge has been safely delivering the energy you rely on every day to fuel your vehicle, heat your home, and power commerce and manufacturing. At Enbridge, they are helping to fuel your quality of life right here in North Dakota. Safely transporting energy is always their top priority. Pipeline systems and facilities are designed with state-of-the-art features and designed to meet a variety of operating conditions and pressures because safety matters. Learn more at enbridge.com.
Nothing better than spending summer on a pontoon. Right. Summer's over. And you don't have a pontoon. Sounds like you need to go to Revolution's Power Sports and Marine for the pontoon blow-up. Save big on all remaining pontoons. And Revolution's has winter storage, winterization, and boat shrink wrap available. Don't miss out on a great deal at Revolution's Power Sports and Marine pontoon blow-up. We need something here. Perfect. Off I-29 and 32nd Avenue South.
Stop into Hornbacher's for everything on your tailgating checklist this football season. Want wings? Head to the deli. Mouth-watering smokehouse products? Back in the meat department. Chips and salsa? Absolutely. Buns and condiments? You can't forget those. Drinks? Better remember the ice, too. And last but not least, fresh baked cookies from the bakery. No matter what's on your list, you'll find it at Hornbacher's. Hornbacher's, the official grocery store of North Dakota Athletics.
3rd down and 4 at the North Dakota 31. 9 on the play clock, 4.5 on the game clock. One receiver each way. Backs in the eye behind. Studsrud. Give to Santiago. Trying to turn the corner. He can. He's strung along on the right side for a loss. And forcing him out, number 23, Kim Kamada.
The good news is that he did not go out of bounds. Wyoming had to take a timeout. And so he was perceptive enough to stay in bounds and either keep the clock running or make Wyoming stop it.
4:15 to go. North Dakota up 24-13, looking at 4th and 8 from the 27. And now the Wyoming fans come to their feet and make a little noise here. All right, Mitch Mindell into punt. He is standing at his own 13-yard line. Tanner Gentry back at his 29. Mindell takes the ball, kicks it up. Way up it goes. Gentry backs up to his 20. And sidesteps the first man and the second man, running to the right side. He's at the 30, the 40, and he's tripped up down at about the 45-yard line of Wyoming.
And you know what happened on that is UND had to be in a tight punt to protect because Wyoming was bringing everybody. Well, that absolutely cuts your coverage about in half. So we got a chance. He got by the first guy, and then he had open space to run.
Clock still ticking. 3:25, 3:24. The big numbers, North Dakota 24, Wyoming 13. 2nd and 11 from the 42. Two receivers either way. Shotgun, here's Kaufman. Steps up, throws over the middle, and it is knocked down by Jake Disterhoff. They had a receiver going straight down the middle.
That was actually knocked down by the 8 on
he never
Jake
saw
Disterhoff's back. Yeah. And you know what he was, that looked like the Tampa 2 defense where you have a middle linebacker covering vertical routes or an outside backer. That was Disterhoff running down the field with a slot receiver, keeping up with him. Of course, he was a defensive back, wide receiver, running back, all Mr. Everything in high school football, yeah. Can run.
Parker, the intended receiver, now 3rd and 11 from the 42, 3:08 to play. Kaufman flushed, being pressured by Rich, runs to his right, throws it, it's off a teammate's hands and incomplete. Heavy pressure by Taj Rich.
You know, Taj Rich is faster than Kaufman, but I think that was altitude. The poor kid was running like he was in mud. I think his lungs are operating on about 10% right now because he just, normally you'd see him run down just about anybody. But he had about a 40-yard run on that from outside, and just, you could just tell he was laboring.
Big play here, 4th down 11 from the Wyoming 42. Cowboys send one receiver left, two right. Kaufman in the gun, Gentry standing to his right. Here's the snap. Kaufman, pressure by North Dakota, and it's going to be a sack at the 28-yard line.
Cieslak was there first, and then Disterhoff.
Austin Cieslak of Hazen, North Dakota, and the ball goes over to North Dakota with 2:55 left.
Noah Johnson in on that too. He came from San Francisco City College. That's the first time we've called his name today, I think.
Back here in Laramie, North Dakota, with a 24-13 lead on Wyoming. 3rd and 12 from the Wyoming 35. And a stack line here. North Dakota sends a man in motion. That's Georges. They give to Georges on the end around, turning the corner to the 30, to the 25, and knocked down at the 22-yard line.
I think he's going to have a first down, Pat.
It's going to be, yes, the chains are moving.
There you go.
You can start talking victory formations right now.
You can hear the North Dakota fans cheering and the players.
1st and 10.
North Dakota will end an 0-for-7 streak against FBS opponents since moving up to Division I in 2008.
I hope nobody gets hurt in that traffic jam going towards the gates in yellow.
1st and 10 at the 21. Studsrud under center, and he will take a knee. 1:34 on the clock. North Dakota will get its first timeout called here. For the first time since moving to Division I, North Dakota will win a season opener on the road and bring their overall season opener record to 5-3 in those D1 games.
Well, and there's no reason to get arrogant or cocky here, and Bubba will not allow that. And I hope we don't sound that way at all, because this was just a well-played game by UND, and they didn't turn it over. They didn't miss tackles. They played very, very well.
2nd and 13 from the 24. The clock has stopped with 1:34 to go after the timeout. Studsrud takes a knee again. And Wyoming is out of timeouts here. That moves the ball back to the 26. What a day. This Studsrud backs up and takes the knee again. 50 seconds and counting. Some stats as we have them. Total yards, North Dakota 435, Wyoming 311. Most of those in the fourth quarter, a comeback attempt. Rushing yards, though, they'll be talking about this for a while. North Dakota 279 and Wyoming 41. Incredible.
UND is going to end up just taking a penalty here. There's 16 on the play clock and 26 on the game clock, so it's fourth down. They'll go ahead and let it run down, and then she'll be in the books, and it'll be a fun ride home.
Well, anyway, another knee for Studsrud. They'll count it down. North Dakota opens the 2015 season in style with a 24-13 victory at Wyoming. North Dakota's first victory over an FBS opponent since joining the ranks of Division II in 2008. Oh, wait, I can't say that yet. They stopped the clock with 9 seconds to go.
Very good to see you.
All right, Wyoming will come back. First and 10 from the 37. UND's defensive backfield going way back to the between the 45 and the 30.
Ready to play it off the wall.
Yep, Wyoming lines up in a 4-receiver spread here, and they put in a new quarterback. That's Josh Allen, and it's incomplete. And with 5 seconds to go, they'll have to do another play. But a game that will go down in North Dakota history. And again, Josh Allen, the sophomore quarterback, throws, and it's batted. No, it is. What happened? Bouncing around.
It's the fumble Ruski.
Who's got it? And finally, the ball is dead at the 46. And that's the end of the game. North Dakota wins a biggie. 24-13 the final in Wyoming. John Santiago, for the record, 24 rushing attempts, 148 yards, and 2 TDs. He was the top rusher in this game. Keaton Studsrud, the quarterback, added 8 carries for 59 yards and the 44-yard touchdown run. Wyoming's running back tandem of Hill and Wick combined for 16 carries and 58 yards. Rushing yards for North Dakota, 276, 41 for Wyoming, and that's what a lot of us will remember.
Well, I remember final score and a big W in the win column, and there wasn't a soul in this country that thought this could be done except these coaches and these players and the people in this program. They've bought into what Bubba brought over a year ago now. We're on the second season, and so it's just very heartening to see them play this well and to stay in there. Offense wasn't able to do this last year. They weren't able to finish it off. Defense, we saw them do what we've come to expect them to do, and they dominated a football game.
Indeed they did. And the final again, North Dakota 24, Wyoming 13.
And there you have it, North Dakota grabbing its first ever win over an FBS program. And according to head coach Bubba Schweigert, the key to seeing it out was getting out to that 3-score lead.
Huge score for us to go up 3 scores in the game, and he made somebody miss, and we're just like, that's really good. This guy's got it. And we go up, and then unfortunately shortly after that we gave up a big play, but our guys still regrouped, and we had a long drive to kind of ice the game, and just this was and I will say it, this wasn't an upset. We went out there, and it wasn't a fluke. We just played better than our opponent that day, and we had a lot of respect for their staff. We knew what kind of style of football they were playing and going to instill in their team out there, and we just really, really felt good about the win. And after the game, you got to put it in the proper perspective, too, because you really haven't done anything yet. We were 1-0, but we knew it was a good win for our program and gave us some confidence moving forward.
Coach Schweigert says that sure, the team and staff, they were excited when that moment took place, but first and foremost, the group that gets the biggest kick out of an accomplishment like that is the fans.
Well, your supporters are very excited about it. Let's call it what it is. you're the underdog going into these games. We don't feel like we prepare like that, but the people outside the program are going to feel that way. But I felt our administration was really excited about this, seeing that we could do this, and our supporters. We had a number of people travel down there, and they were very excited about what they saw, and just gave us, a big boost into what we could do with our program, and a belief that we had improved our football team, and then you just got to keep that same type of edge, how you want to play and improve. But that's what I remember. A lot of people excited, and sure, we felt great about it.
The opening day win over Wyoming set up a successful year 2 for Bubba, his staff, and this UND football team as they'd finish 7-5. And yes, considering the record and the wins, the very icing on the cake that they so dearly wanted didn't quite come to fruition, according to head coach Bubba Schweigert.
Yeah, it sure was. We did have some disappointing losses in that season, but we finished strong. And to not get in the tournament was disappointing because I felt we were really playing well toward the end of the season. We just went out to Cal Poly, and that was a team that was playing very well at that time of the year. And to beat them 45-21, and the week before at home, we had really played well against Northern Colorado. Had a big win against Montana State at home, who was a good football team. We just really, really put together a nice stretch at the end, and to have a 7-win season and a win against an FBS opponent. We were the first team that wasn't chosen for the playoffs at that time, so that's one thing that didn't sit well with us, and to this day it doesn't sit well. I felt we were a team, but it is what it is, and you got to move on from it.
But it has to be said, the win over Wyoming and the 2015 season would set up a magical 2016 campaign. This concludes our second UND Classic football rebroadcast from September 5th, 2015, where the University of North Dakota defeated the FBS Wyoming Cowboys 24-13. This rebroadcast has been presented today by Shields. Hey, North Dakota fans, make sure you check out Shields for all your Fighting Hawks gear. Shields right there with you in Bismarck, Minot, Grand Forks, Fargo, and Moorhead. We hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane and hope you'll join us in a week's time to do it again. Live college sports will happen again soon. In the meantime, we'll continue to give you some great moments in the memories of the coaches, players, and fans of University of North Dakota Athletics. For more information, visit fightinghawks.com. This is Paul Ralston saying thank you so much for listening, and we hope you choose to do so again.